realize that.
And talk to me about weight. I spent half the session figuring out weight.
These guys in Guardians, they're also doing weight, but because they don't have weight, everything's one to them. So they also do inventory sorting to be like, this is one, this is not one, this is one.
Is this equipped at all times to the point where it doesn't need to be a card, or do I need to turn it into a card? Okay, that's
Yep.
1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1.
I have a full set of plate mail that's a card, and I'm a wizard.
Yeah, but you'll one day get to your officer.
One day,
even
when
then,
I
you still
actually
need-
level it up.
You need to save that one spot just in case you need a card it.
My question is, how the hell do we modify additional storage?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
You don't.
Yeah,
It might be a mod, so I'm not entirely sure. But hey everyone,
we have a lot of mods.
we do have a lot of mods, and we have a lot of players, and we have a lot of time that might not have gone to Echoes, but miracles happen apparently when it comes to D&D Day. So, yeah.
Power miraculously turned back on just for Echoes.
It's gonna die.
It'd be so
immediately
funny
after.
if it turns right off. It'll be so fucking funny.
It's a big flickering.
You say that, my lights have been flickering too.
As soon as Darian goes to read the recap and he goes, last time on Echoes, and it'll be like,
Quick, get everyone on.
Last time an egg and just cuts off.
I don't know if I could recover the tomb that fast. I'm like, listen, I said no before. I was positive that we were doing tomb. Darian was like, you're doing tomb. And then we're not doing tomb, so I apologize. And now we have to do tomb again.
I mean, it'd be funny.
Imagine.
It'd be funny.
it would be funny. I'll be sitting here in the dark with this like angry, salty look on my face.
Alright,
I just cry
let me see.
like a real man.
And we'll get going, Darian. Let's get started before we power dose.
We've started the
Last-
countdown now.
No.
It's really funny.
Last time in Echoes, the gatekeepers continued their assault on the mine to free their companions. While delving deeper into the darkness, they found their way forward, blocked by more Warforged who were keeping their distance, while Arkfur and Terra ran from the mithril-enhanced stone elemental. At the end of at a narrow point in the mine, the groups decided that, instead of fighting towards their allies, they'll just jump. And with a few spells, some helping hands, and a couple close calls, they managed to leap across the gap. The elemental leapt towards its closest targets, who just so happened to be the Warforged guards, and the gatekeepers chose this moment to make their escape. The only path left that wasn't swarming with guards led deeper into the mine and into a single passage whose destination was unknown to Epis. An hour of walking or so later, they found themselves in a strange storage room full of Warforged bodies, and upon exiting, found themselves standing before the Soulforge. With little time to act before it's figured out where they went and become trapped, the party had to sneak away and recuperate and plan their next move, unable to accomplish their goal for now.
Yeah. And as you all eventually make your way to the inn that Arkfur jumped in before, as you all eventually get there over a course of, I think it was 3 people at like
About 3 hours, yeah.
15-minute intervals, so yeah, after about like 45 minutes to an hour, you're all in this corner, sequestered in this courtyard, ready to talk. This is the last 3, I think it was Terra, Inazaz, and Christine.
Yes.
Rock up.
To like refresh memory, when we went through, did we sneak completely past like the people at the front, like the tavern keep?
That is up to
No.
you.
My answer
yeah,
is no.
Yeah, someone, because like at the end with Christine showing up, they specifically walked in and there was a brief conversation with the tavern person where they told Inazaz, who was dressed up like a Warforged, like a 5th guard, to sod off essentially. If Sylvie snuck in, that's entirely fine.
I mean, we're invisible, so
You
I
would,
feel like
yeah.
at least at some point, like once we're like organized and stuff, I would like to approach the tavern keeper.
Yeah.
If anyone would also like to do that as well, but I'd sort of, yeah, I'm more going to go on the persuasive at this point.
Yeah. There's you.
It
Yeah. it's
sort
you.
of goes up to the
So is
front.
this as everyone's here, or as when you enter?
I'll say when everyone's here, because I feel like when they were invisible, she probably would have just like got to the location to make sure everyone was there.
Well, you wouldn't have been invisible when you got here.
Okay.
There was not enough
Well, in
time
that
for you
case
to.
then.
There was not enough time for you to get here while you were invisible because it was like a whatever minute interval that Christine had. That was enough time. But yeah. Now at this point,
Well,
as everyone's here, you go into the front.
Just sort of like approach the tavern keep. Just like I wanna try and get a read, like an insight on like that's a pretty bad roll. With my 13. It's my insight on this person. Do they look wary?
As you enter, it is like empty except for them and you guys in the corner outside. This place is void of people. As you have a look, you see a big like scowl and just disinterest in the situation before you approach, and as you do, it lessens a little but not a lot. You can like, if people who had basic understanding of like looking into someone, they'd understand that she's doing a piss poor job of hiding her disdain.
Fair enough. I take it it's been a little slow on clientele recently.
That's what happens when all my patrons were arrested for a bar fight.
It's very frustrating indeed. Well, me and my friends are more than welcome to make our time in your location worth your time. And she drops 100 gold down on the table. This is yours. We like an air of privacy in what we do. Just a few drinks. Mostly we just want a nice place to stay where we don't have to worry about anything. Will this be enough?
Roll a persuasion on that.
No worries. Oh, that's a really bad roll.
I wouldn't say no to maybe doubling it, and if you do that, I'm sure my clientele won't bother you.
She drops another 100 down.
Gives a nod. And
Hey,
Thank
scoop it up.
skips it up. It's like, how long do you want me before I bring in some drinks for your table?
See. So if everyone's here at the moment, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Say give us about half an hour if that's okay. Get our bearings. It's been a long evening.
Gives a nod. She goes back to like maintaining the bar. She steps into like a back room as you leave.
I'm going to remove that 200. Spend currency. 200 gold.
Have
It's a good thing I
currency.
have lots of money left over. Yeah, she just goes back to the rest of the group. Well, we have a very expensive place to stay, but should be safe for a good time. Oh, my bribery skills need some work, but anyway. We should be getting some drinks in about half an hour. It gives us a little bit of time to discuss what our next plan is.
I don't think gear retrieval's the top priority. Maybe getting out of here is.
Are you sure about that? There. I don't remember exactly what was held within that bag, but
Oh, just some cursed items, you know.
I see.
Though the bag of holding would be nice, I guess.
But also, what about your gauntlets?
Look at it this way. You go back in that castle. I'm burning it down.
I never said no.
Or no burning down the castle. That would be good.
He did though.
Fine, I'll just burn the king's chambers.
Also, no, the building has done nothing wrong.
No, he also
I
might
will
be
burn
right.
the
The king's chambers or the king themselves might be in the castle.
Well, technically,
And that
the king isn't here.
The king
But-
is currently in the capital, but look,
I understand what you're saying. Just
So the
kill
castle?
the guy you want to kill, but don't go overboard. People are
I-
still gonna live here. The sovereign is going to reestablish order in the city. He kinda needs somewhere to do that from.
I'm not used to being this exhausted, Epis, okay?
Also, I don't think it'll be set on fire. It's made of stone. Drinks the
We-
jug that he had before.
least of our worries, trust me.
As for whatever this other plan you have is, you really going to set foot in that place?
Well, I don't know. That I haven't gotten far into thinking about what to do about that yet. Especially with what we saw.
Well, we've got
What
at least
with
on
the
those.
eyes?
We need a plan. We need to know our next goal. And we need to figure out what resources we have at our disposal still. As it is, these clothes aren't even mine.
Well, that last point is pretty easy to point out, as our resources are pretty thin.
Two of us are down pretty much everything.
Yes, which is not
Three.
useful.
Technically. I assume you're somewhat willing to stay with us for a bit? Grandpa?
I'm able to help. I think you'll need me if you need to go into the building with the eyes. If there is anyone who is not against you people, or non-gavels, I guess, you'll need someone of authority to match the claims. So I think it's best if it's coming. Because
I reckon a small group, anyways.
My worry is if some of them are already on, just doing a quick check. It was
Someone else's
Kieran,
payroll.
right?
Yeah, what?
I recall his name being Kieran. I'm just gonna go and exhaust shit as the excuse for
Keegan.
the wrong. Keegan.
Kierken.
Kieran.
Kirikin. Close enough.
Kieran
Look,
is,
What is the possibility that some of them might be on Kerrigan's payroll?
he sort of thinks about it for a minute, like mulls over while drinking.
I managed to stumble across a few by my own research, something that for whatever reason went unnoticed by everyone else. Most of the eyes just blind.
Depends on who they put where.
I understand the old saying of justice is blind,
Some
but
of,
the eyes themselves should be open.
some of your some of you said that you heard people arguing and one was disinterested.
Yeah,
I-
from just like a brief hearing, it was near the main markets. Two of them, one looked very conflicted about what was happening. The other one definitely had a stern, follow your orders kind of vibe to him.
I think that from memory, I think that you were shopping whilst I
Yeah.
saw that, and I relayed it to you.
I thought I heard it was like on like the main market bit, and you went off to go listen to them, and I was like just keeping an eye out.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. Yeah,
It was
so we
before the
heard them to
shopping.
begin with.
We're in
Yes,
a town that's under tyranny. We've got arguments between guards, merchants, and God knows what else.
So there was clearly one that was sort of more in the know with what was going on, and the other was confused.
Wouldn't surprise me if these two organizations were working together. These gavels and the fifth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
If that's the
If
case,
any-
then I think at least 75% of the people there are going to be Gavels.
I am of the opinion, with the evidence that we have gathered, and the fact that you are, well, alive and currently with us, that this is true, and we can link the two organizations.
To your questions, Aqua, why we didn't notice is honestly simple. The
one
eyes are
told ya.
detectives. We look outwards. We
Oh, you
never
forgot
had
to do the
look
soul
in
searching. I see.
until he sort of looks over to Xavier until he came along, and whoever he's working with, Fred and Jake. So
But I am a part of the internal reconnaissance investigation squad. We look within the eyes.
if I've never heard of them before, then you.
Yeah.
And that answers your question.
Makes sense, because the eyes can't really go back too far, so how can you look inwards from there?
So I feel like dealing with this current situation is not completely dealing with your Gavel situation, but at least putting a spanner in the works for them.
As I said before, respectfully, if I make out of this alive, or at least I've written my documentation beforehand, and whatever evidence Jake and Fred are going to get, you'll probably be able to take this up to High Court.
Ooh.
If we all survive.
From the way that they were talking about it before they left, Jake and Fred answered to someone probably higher than the speaker. So, if we can have evidence as soon as possible, obviously let them know what has happened. Not only would an investigation be launched, but the public will know about it, as is their right. And more pressure would be put onto the eyes, which is what we want.
Well, probably not.
No,
Maybe.
it's a delicate situation.
Depends on who our higher ups is. You say the
So-
speaker, if you assume you're talking about that man on the council. Who is he?
Although,
He seemed lovely.
Oh, he's not even important.
If we are to assume that the Gavels here are blinked, should our target be causing a rebellion within them to go against the one in charge here?
I think cutting their head off directly, if we're able.
The difficulty
But-
of rebellion as well is like, what do we offer them?
The number one thing that
You
Well,
do
throw
have
a
a few things to
spanner.
offer them.
Continue.
the number one thing that I was sent here for was to deal with the Soul Forge. This is the biggest issue in Sonaris at the moment. Once that keeps going and they start churning out more of these Warforged, I mean, you saw it for yourself, Xavier. Just imagine them everywhere. They're
I'm
worried about the
more-
Hobgoblin uprising in the north, but
I'm also worried about multiple of that gigantic thing.
yes, they're only going to get bigger.
Maybe something will be in the papers we talk.
Speaking of which, shall we have a look? I'm assuming we never got a really good chance to.
I plopped down a stack of like 100 papers.
Do we wish to do this now or wait until we're in rooms?
Yeah, I might want to take You have time with that.
I put the papers back in the wherever I'm putting them.
Under your arm.
Put him in this bag, please.
I was like, hey, like, maybe we should wait till we're in our own rooms, and the camera just pans up to the completely empty tavern except for you all.
No, it's like also just like the time to just look for it.
I will give you the 100 papers.
You're now
I'm
at
happy to
200?
go over these with some other people. I feel like you need a bit of sleep, and Tara as well. Both look quite exhausted. But I'm willing to stay up a little while and have a look at these.
I
Yeah,
can look at them as well.
the guards weren't exactly polite. Though if I realized I was that easy to take down, maybe I would have just fought back.
I don't think the guards were your worry in that regard. I think it was the multiple metal robots around you.
That's what I meant by guards.
It was probably better that you didn't fight them off. A lot of them could have swarmed you all at once. It could have been worse.
Oh, we were lucky we found you. We weren't even sure you were there. It was more of a hunch, really.
Well, the fact that it lined up, but like perfectly with the other things as well.
There is one factor that's not accounted for in all of this. How did you get into the mines? That's what I want to know.
Digging.
Did anyone else get out?
Some civilians made it out, as far as I'm
So what is the consequence of word spreading that people have been chucked into mines against their will?
They
Lie.
should know.
If those people manage to get out and actually escape, then maybe, but honestly, the chances of them getting away, they're civilians. Where are they going to go?
Making their way back to the city is probably the most dangerous thing they can do right now.
All
And
the
who knows if
same,
they would
thank
try.
you. Whoever had the idea to dig, thank you.
Looks to him as us.
Yeah. It's like,
He doesn't say anything.
he did it. Which
Well-
was actually a much more thought out plan than I was ever going to come up with.
It worked out, and we found you all, and we found the Soul Forge at the same time, which was
In the city.
honestly a majority of what we were sent here to do. So it may seem like we've been doing a bit of a messed up job of this, but we have come out of this on the upside.
I would like to do, and I am exhausted, so this will be a disadvantage. I would like to roll a insight for my own self ideas.
I'll be 2 seconds.
What?
Can I roll an insight to see if I can suggest an idea?
If you want.
Cool.
You run a roll, a click clack. No.
Oh, no.
Mm,
Well, you get inspiration though.
yeah, that's. Thank you.
I don't know what I feel like. I don't know what I'm thinking, but I feel inspired.
I can blow Thorge.
What?
Let me think on it a bit more. Scratch his head.
I just thought you said I can blow Florge. And I'm just
Florge.
like, yeah, it's like, who's Florge?
Why you want to
Do-
blow it?
Are you having an affair?
Are you having a stroke?
Are you having both?
Tara translated it pretty well.
Ah. The Soul Forge.
We'll have a look through these papers.
Yep.
See if there's anything. Any weak points. Any way of being able to. Well, it'd be nice to be able to turn this thing off, but then they can just turn it back on again. We need to take something that it needs to be able to run, or we need to destroy something.
I have an
So-
observation.
Yes.
Why could I turn these things into zombies?
Interesting point.
Can a metallic thing be undead?
He can if he has a
Apparently.
soul.
I guess if these things have souls in them,
Ah.
so they're technically part mortal. So
So they
maybe
feel
your magic
fear.
attaches to that.
So if you were to kill a magic sword, you could zombify it.
No.
Depends.
But does a sword have a soul in it?
No.
No.
Well,
Technically, sentient weapons exist, but they operate differently to traditional souls.
never mind then.
He sort
There's a
of
reason
looks
why
over.
magic.
You'd understand if you paid attention in Paladin class when we dealt with undead.
I came out to be one of the better paladins, and you damn well know it.
So can you put a sentient sword in one of these things as like a substitute for a soul?
Oh.
Potentially, but you
'Cause
need
Then can I bring
someone-
it back as a zombie?
No.
Ah, sounds like a cop out.
Interesting though, turning a sentient being into. Okay. Either way, going back.
This hurts my head.
I think.
Why
I
is
think
my
I
nose
know
bleeding?
what. Okay, I think.
Well, if that is the case, there is two things to then worry about, which is, of course, the type, those souls, and what and where, and what are we doing to them if we destroy them, which may not be on everyone's mind, but it's something to think about when you sleep at night. And then the second thing is the things we can now do if that is the case.
Well, do you want to know what that's like? Because that was
Probably not.
the big whole debate when the war
Probably not.
ended.
I have a theory. You've noticed what we noticed when we were in the jail in Absalom, that all the missing people that have been going on around were there. The elven kind. And they were taken here to work in the mines. Are we sure the Soul Forge doesn't put those people's souls into those bodies?
They'd already be subservient due to fear alone.
I believe, from what I've been told, just correct me if I'm wrong with this, DMs. I'm pretty sure my information was that they hadn't been making any new Warforged. It was more the old ones were getting reactivated. That was the last information that I had.
If that's the last information you remember, then
I probably got in my notes. Let me have
Is that the last information you had, or that your outside sources had?
Yeah, it might have just been that you were told that, but we don't know what the exact
It's
story is.
just. Yeah, I'll look at the pin. It's just I was just hoping that maybe like I wouldn't have to get this huge fucking document up.
No.
Let's see.
Regardless of the plan, I think a good night's rest sounds amazing.
I agree. I think that you should take the time to rest up. And hopefully, when you wake up, we'll have some semblance of a plan, or at least know what we're doing with this Soul Forge. But I don't think that you should have to worry about that one.
Are the rooms already booked?
I'd say so.
Very well. Then I'm going to go get some rest. And think, I suppose. Though, one thing I will say. I trust you to come up with a plan. But don't be afraid to consider me a resource. As I will walk off.
Yeah, I'll come with you. Come to the
No.
front. I'll just double check and see whether or not we can get you a nice room.
No, it's quite all right.
I'm coming anyway. She wants to just double check that the rooms are all good. Like, I'll just like go and check that if that's all good.
What do you mean by all good? Are there,
Like,
are
if
there
you can go
rooms?
up and get into a room, yeah.
Yeah.
For the only
Yeah,
ones
no one
here, I
in there.
don't imagine they're taken.
Him as a resource is not a plan that I'm thinking of right now, and better alternatives should probably be suggested.
As the two
Yes.
of you, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, like, just to the Abyss, you were thinking that at best, 30% might be 30% of those in the eyes around here might be ones that don't know anything.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Do you know how many people usually get put around into sort of places this big?
A big city like this, probably about 20 eyes are assigned here. Maybe a bit bigger in the capital, but it's dependent on size. There's not many cases, and to have gavels on, we're really only there for like investigation purposes on major crimes. We're
You
not
wanna
going
slip
to.
up? Nothing. Just heard gavels. It's like, yo, slip up! It's like, I know what you meant.
We only really operate on mid to big tier crimes. If it's something smaller, then that's the guard's domain. So, around here, probably maybe 20. So, if you're lucky, maybe 5 people would be someone who doesn't know anything.
And there's probably not going to be an easy way to convince them.
Well, the easy way would be me.
Yes, but that would mean having to separate them for a moment from those who do know something. And it's really... that'd be a hard thing to tell, other than just shouting out loud, which is probably the last thing we want to do.
Well, if most of you hide, we can figure it out by the ones that are not attacking us.
True. I guess looking at their gut reaction straight away, or those who might be...
Well, not their gut reaction straight up. That's some of them just might know. Some of them might
Sure.
be hiding. But those willing to listen might be able to be swayed. It'll have to be done on the day. I can't really think of,
Of course,
everything
of
on the
course.
spot.
Still, though, it's good to have an idea of numbers. Even if the odds are looking ridiculous against us, but...
He sort of turns to the rest of them, because if it's only Sylvie and Aqua going up, then they're just like, I suggest none of you do anything big there if we're going to do a full assault. There are still civilians that work there, scribes, people who take notes for investigations, handling some of the prisoners. There are some people that are just either guards for the city or commoners who have a job. So unless you're possibly sure that you're not going to hit someone, maybe none of the big stuff.
Was that? I did not hear any of that, so I think I heard Sylvie, and that was about it.
Yeah, you're not there.
Okay.
It was just like talking to everyone else because I don't think anyone
Okay.
else left.
More accurate RP.
As he finishes that, the tavern keeper comes in with a round of drinks, notices that there's 2 people missing, so takes 2 drinks back in.
For myself.
And there's also a little bit of like, not the best, but like quick for dinner for breakfast sort of thing. Breakfast for dinner sort of thing. Bacon, eggs, stuff that can cooked up a lot in half an hour.
I have a question. So this tavern keeper sort of, more or less given us the place, right?
Yes.
At least for now.
Does she have no comment on my Warforged corpse?
You walked in, walked out, and then, like, you walked up in the thing with the corpse. I'm not sure. Did you bring it with you?
Yeah.
No, because I think
He's a
what happened
guard.
last time, you walked in as a guard with the corpse. She
Mhm.
said, basically, fuck yourself.
Mhm.
You then left, went around the corner, cancelled your own thing, and then came back in on your own.
Ah, he's outside. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so he's wherever you left him, somewhere outside. But
Be a
um,
god.
yeah. At least that's how I remember it.
That
I
makes
remember
sense.
that. I just don't remember if he left it or not. I'm gonna err on the side of maybe leaving it behind for simplistic sake. Behind,
Hey,
but you can find it later.
I finagled my inventory to allow me to carry that motherfucker. He's coming with us for the long run.
He's my friend now.
Yeah, you get a bunch of eggs and bacon and ham and toast and anything that can be cooked easily at the table with some drinks.
Just nods in appreciation. At this point, Sylvie's going through, because I think when Arkva said that he gave the papers to us, I'm pretty sure. So Sylvie's sort of like retired from the conversation. She's just sort of reading through the papers, like quietly,
If you want to
like
roll,
having a bit of food and drink.
Now,
roll either
I'm just going to. Sorry. I was just going to say this because I don't know if it'll make a difference. 7 of those 100 papers are from the room that we came out of in the town.
Yeah, the top floor, I believe.
Yeah, 93 of them are from down in the Soul Forge. 7 are from up the top.
Say,
Fair enough.
If you want to
I have
roll
this.
investigation or arcana.
Sure.
Can I do a reading as well?
If you're going to investigation or
Yeah.
arcana.
I will.
No, your investigation will perhaps make you understand what something's being talked about, but your arcana is going to be figuring out how it works.
Okay.
ooh, Arcana.
I'm gonna use Inquisitor's Eye on this.
So you're going investigation?
Yep.
I will go Arcana then. Not that I have any good stats
I
on
will
this.
give you my last Fey gift.
Eventually,
Take
like,
one
I'll
help
also join for the reading, like, later on the night. Or later
Okay.
on after, like, what we're doing, just try to figure out stuff here. I'll make a roll now, though, with it.
Tara's probably just gonna eat and drink and then just head upstairs silently to a room to rest.
Fair enough.
That is very fair.
I would like to turn my poison mats into some poison, please.
Yeah, roll an alchemist
Yeah.
supplies or poisonous kit.
Yeah, I guess if, like, no one has anything else to, like, really, like, say or conversate about, like, eventually I'll move up to the room which has Sylvie.
Do you want that
Olivia and Ogborin.
You say this?
I just wanted to ask about Fey Gift. How does that work? Is that just a...
It's the help action.
So, one advantage.
Oh, okay, so I get advantage. Thank you.
Yeah, you have advantage. I just basically give the help action
Okay.
as bonus action.
That's all I needed to know. Thank you. That advantage. Actually, no, it didn't really help, but it doesn't matter anyway.
Nope, that is
Appreciate
ticked.
it all the same.
And I can't use that, so flat roll it is. 8.
Oh, man. You
I'm
got such a
going-
high thing.
Using the actually using the Inquisitor's Eye to make my roll a 20.
The 20?
Yep, it changes. I can end the spell early to change the results of the D20 roll to 20.
Okay. So, what's your investigation then?
I believe that'd be 24 if I'm understanding it correctly, or it would just be 20.
Okay, so what are you investigating with? Which papers are you looking at? The 93 or the 7?
I'll look at the.
Well, it
I'll
wouldn't
look
be
at
the
the
full
7.
93 because it's going to be a long
Yeah,
time to go
I'll
through
look at the
that.
7.
Okay, so the 7 pages that you're looking at are reports, financial reports on this conglomerate of probably about 4 blacksmiths who are operating in this facility at a time. You see different lists, you see different like receipts on items being built, and they're all dated to probably maybe half a year ago. Most of them seem to be mithril weapons and armor. That seems to be directly going to that place that I forget all the time, but Darren remembers most of the time.
The goblins.
No, not the goblins.
Damn. The other goblins.
You mean the resources coming into this place?
No, the academy.
The Mithril Academy.
Yeah, the Mithril Academy. This seems to be like stuff that's forged for the Mithril Academy going out to them. You see resource intakes of like iron and mats and any other metals that are being built. This just seems to be how a blacksmith would operate a business if they like had the time to have someone do paperwork.
Okay.
It looks too legit.
Is there any like coding that I could glean from this that I would be able to pick up, like a secret sort of?
I'll say one thing you can notice with the in really high investigation. These notes which were taken from the top of the area, they're a lot older than the notes from the bottom area.
Okay.
So it's possible that these were potentially some from before everything went down in the city.
Okay.
That makes sense. Back when they were just using the mithril for weaponry, not for other things.
Roughly. Alright. I'll jot this down on a spare piece of parchment.
We'll do the other two, and then you can.
Yeah.
Sing. With an 18 Sylvie, and an 8 Christine, this is, as we've stated many times, this is archaeotech. This is very difficult to comprehend. Christine, you're reading it, you're not fully understanding any of it.
Yeah, I'm a
This is like looking
boots
at
in the
it.
ground caster, not kind of a book word caster.
This is like
You've got like a bunch of pages in front of you, and they're just covered in arcane formula, and you're like, "What do them numbers mean, mate?"
I'm looking at this and I'm realizing I'm kicking myself for not paying attention in class.
It's one of those big like blackboards full of like this one long equation using all these different symbols, and you're like, the answer's 5. It has to be. I don't fucking know.
No, you can't give me this blackboard in order to cast Fireball. I just do this and it happens. Like, I don't know. What do you want from me?
Exactly. This is a sorcerer didn't pay attention in wizard class moment.
Sylvie, with an 18,
Arky didn't like that.
You're still not fully understanding some of the concepts, but you sort of get the gist of what some of the things are. Some of them seems to be like ratios of arcane proportions. You're not entirely sure what the proportions are and what they're going to do, but you can tell that like there's X part of something that goes to with Y part of something else in order to operate this. What that is a little more abstract.
Yeah.
And is that to me or?
I think that's a more explanation of what you're saying.
Yeah. It seems to be like focusing on specific parts of the Soul Forge from what you're gathering, but you can't figure out what that part is or how it's doing its thing. You can tell that it needs something, and it needs it in precise somethings. If they're measurements of magic or material, you've got no idea.
So I don't
It's
know.
like, the way to describe it, I think, from what you're reading, Sylvie, it looks like with all this complicated math and stuff that Christine is looking at and getting confused of, the parts you're looking at, Sylvie, look like that they're trying to isolate one specific part of that insane amalgamation. Like they're trying to get a specific section away from the rest of it.
I am going to assume as a player and as a character that that's got something to do with the soul removal, that to like transfer into the Warforged from the like mortal body. That's just like as a guess. because it's like that in itself is like kind of magical, you know, this like component of person going into something else sort of thing, but not 100% understanding all of that. So this could be something to do with how it's working. I'm trying to figure out how to make it not work properly, and I'm assuming there's nothing really there that I can comprehend.
Yeah, not with
In the time you guys have this night, there's probably not time to go author notes. Like, there are a lot of notes here, just from what Christine also grabbed and what Akfa grabbed. You can tell that the 97 or 93 pages that Akfa has and whatever Christian grabbed as well,
Everything.
people going through very meticulous detail over everything they can about the Soul Forge. So there's a lot of information here that you guys have only started to scratch the surface on.
Yep. So with enough time, I might be able to understand a little bit more, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or is this like, there's no fucking way?
You'll need
No, absolutely. With more time to analyze the blueprints, analyze the notes, you could learn more about how to make this thing tick.
Yeah, it'll be
And I
more
bet,
links there to do.
And I bet
so.
with you like helping, you could be able to like point me in a isolated area instead of this amalgamation of a fucking string and chalkboard.
Yeah. So basically, like in doing that, like once it gets to a point where it's like we really do need to get a long rest in, she'd be like, I need more time with this to be able to completely understand it. I'm getting something. It's confusing. It's not something that I'm going to be able to understand in a night's reading.
I'm glad you're getting somewhere, because everything in front of me right now seems to be amalgamated parts of a puzzle that is like 1,000 pieces.
My theory is that this thing, this complicated little equation they have here,
Picks it up, looks at it.
it's basically something that they're trying to perfectly remove and transfer. I think that this is the actual details of the soul removal into the Warforged. That's my theory, at least. I don't completely understand all of this. It's very confusing, but see this bit here, this it repeats itself a couple of times through it, but I digress. I think that once you get your head wrapped around this, you might be able to understand it a little bit better than me. Not really a
Direction is better
magical
than
person.
nothing, at least. Thank you. But you're right.
I
We
say-
probably need time.
It's frustrating because we need to. Oh, that was weird. Anyway, I'm going to go to sleep now. She sort of like shuts down again and is like, we'll discuss this later.
Right.
Attempt to investigate those 93 pages.
So you spend some time looking through those pages specifically.
Yeah.
If you take time to do this, it'll eat up time that you would be resting at this point.
Yeah, if you wanted a long rest, you'll be waking up later than everyone else.
Yeah. Or you'd be dealing with an exhaustion for not having a full long rest if they wake you up early. So depending on how the party go, this could result in exhaustion or not. Depends on what the party do the next day.
I'm taking the time to sleep, personally.
I will do this.
Alright, go ahead. Do a roll.
Make an investigation.
Oh, I really want to now, having a point where I could probably work off of try that roll again.
You want to risk it as well?
It seems like I attempt to. I get like a little bit in and like.
As you're looking at it, as
No.
like, while Sylvie sort of has like a blacked out cookbook recipe, you can't even tell that with the 7. You're like, it's just words. It is words and notations I don't understand.
Yeah, you get inspiration,
Yep.
but you're having the same issue that Christine was having earlier. It's like you've put these papers down in front of you, and it's getting late. You're getting tired. All the pages starting to blend together into one mishmash, it's your brain is not functioning fast enough to keep up with it all.
Cramming
I
before
shouldn't. Oh, yeah.
cramming before an exam.
Yeah.
Basically.
Is it? Could I say that in lieu of taking the inspiration after seeing this daunting role, not after seeing this after seeing the daunting amount of paperwork getting barely through, I'm like, I don't have fucking time for this. No.
So you're saying in lieu of inspiration, you'll cancel your inspiration out for you just to go to bed and be like, no, fuck
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
and
no,
essentially,
That's fair.
okay, you know what? If you get rid of the inspiration, then
No.
yeah, you look at it, you go nah, and you go to bed instead. So you have no
Yeah.
chance of exhaustion the next day.
You sort of
Sure.
look
Yeah.
over Christine's shoulder, like you do a little bit of a gaze, like maybe
Nah.
I can help, and you're like, fuck that, and walk to bed.
It is too late for
Not
this.
I
Like
will
that scene at the start
is-
of Percy Jackson where all the letters are just not working.
Yeah,
Like, "Nah,
and,
I'm
they,
out,
and,
go
and,
ahead."
and they don't fix themselves. It's just
Yeah.
still
Is-
is.
important question. Is Christine like hunched over the desk like sleeping?
I need to think. I need like this is hard because I want to keep going for that role, but out of most people, I should take that rest.
While you're
I
thinking,
mean,
uh,
Christine, you do have a d20 you could add to it. I'm just saying.
No, I do not because I've ticked it.
did you not?
Didn't you
You don't
instantly
have
untick it?
2d4 you can add to this shit.
No, it was. Remember, I couldn't actually like. Oh no, I didn't take it off.
Yeah, you got it and then immediately you used it and then immediately got given it back.
Right.
Yeah, so you have it again.
Oh, okay.
Alright, well,
Yeah.
before we get to this,
Yeah, real quick, within Azaz. So it's a 9, right? It's
10 total.
10 total?
so
Yeah,
with
it's
10,
pretty...
you don't. It's a case that you can't make any properly distilled poison from what the resource you have. You're able to start working on stuff, but it's a case of what you have needs to ferment longer. So it's like you've essentially begun the base components of things. You haven't ruined what you've got. It's just that what you have isn't ready yet.
Yeah, you sort of just need
Okay.
to leave your station in a room and be like, well, I've done as much as I can.
It's like, oh, I have to come back to this later and finish it up, basically.
But okay.
So you didn't fail, so that you didn't waste anything. It's just you didn't roll high enough to complete it instantly.
Watch Christine get a 42 when she rolls on the table. Immediately
Christine,
ask.
with an
Yeah.
18, similar to Sylvia's, you're in the same boat. You're starting to understand things, but it's not helping.
Good.
There is one thing with the directed attention Sylvie's pointing towards the one area, and her mentioning how it's about like the soul collecting section of the Soul Forge.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at it, and while magic math isn't your strong suit, the one thing you do notice that kind of, with this extra direction she's pointed you at, there's actually a lot of one type of formula keeps showing up over and over again in these separate sections, and it's not like abjuration, it's not evocation type of magic, it's not like divination. It looks like a lot of the same formulas that keep showing up involve a heavy amount of enchantment magic. Enchantment magic.
There it is. Hmm. Yeah, she's probably like spending that time like going through this, like trying to pinpoint like the exact points where like this enchantment appears, because that alone sparks interest with it being construct based, and especially with like something that is more related to like her, I guess, internal power. There was interest behind that, figuring out, okay, maybe is this something that is replicable in the sense where I can understand how it works from my own way. Like,
As-
it might be math words, but maybe I can make it make sense in physical, like, action.
As you sort
Yeah,
of...
it's hard to say because enchantment is both the combination of putting magic into things, but also affecting minds with magic, and it's like both those fall into the same school. So
As you sort of look through it and you get interested and you have a look and you try to you read further and it's still not making sense, you grab your brow and start rubbing it. As tiredness steams to eep in, and just on the table real quick. That'd be really funny, I think.
Oh, you're funny?
Yeah, I think it'd be really, really.
Does that mean I
funny.
can make another roll after?
it would guarantee exhaustion.
Oh.
Set those pages on fire.
Okay, it doesn't matter. I think
I
everyone's
can roll
asleep.
again.
I mean, I think everyone's
Nah.
asleep. If you want to spend thing slots.
Would you say I had a short rest?
No,
Nice.
Damn.
you've specifically not been resting. Like at this point, like it's been a long day. You've done a lot of things. When you guys came to the end, in the first place, it was already pushing the edge of curfew. It's now everyone's in bed. It is very late.
How many sorcery points? 2?
You want to re-roll it?
If you want to reroll it. But you
I'd
have
have to use a bonus action to change spell slots into points.
I won't let you do that. I think you need to
Yeah,
have
exactly.
points
That's why I
before
won't do it. Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna do it in the middle of my turn. No, but like, as you do it, you sort of partially transform a little bit. No one is awake or nearby enough for them to make the roll, so you quickly, it quickly shuts off. And, and you all fall asleep, I assume. Christine, are you asleep?
Yes, eventually, upon that sort of, I think, burst of magic, it's that sort of realization of, okay, I need to stable myself and stop for a moment. Just slowly pack it all up, organize it, and then lay it down to then go to rest.
So as I roll, as I give everyone the long rest back, just to note, everyone who went to bed,
We're dead.
no, just
Okay.
everyone who went to bed on time, so everyone but Christine, because the others just went to bed early, and everyone else had their 2 hours of downtime to go to bed. Yes?
Forgot to. Yeah, I cast alarm. I cast alarm before I go to bed.
Cat's
Just make
alarm.
Sure.
Alright.
Cat's
Maybe
alarm.
not.
You're all gonna sort of wake up around 8 o'clock, and have your 8 hours of sleep. Christine will probably wake up around 10 with this
Hi.
additional work. So if anyone's doing anything between 8 and 10, it'll be sans Christine unless you wake her up. So apply the long rest.
I think in the morning she'll just pick the papers back up again and just get back to studying them.
I will say, if there's one thing that Christine is good at, it's note taking.
Yeah.
There's probably a few
Oh,
extra of
yeah.
her notes along with it.
So yeah, you did your work. Sylvius, you're returning to the notes first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
What is everyone else doing?
My
Just
morning
doing getting.
coffee.
Yeah, yeah. The keeper, the tavern keeper, is the only person there still. When you get up and go down there, it looks like they've slept and they're back, just sitting behind the bar. And, they dragged a chair behind there because there's still no one else in the building. In fact, when you walk up to them to ask them for a drink and they get up to get you something, you notice that the sign on the front just says closed.
Go buys ya.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Would I know how before we actually get into the place? Would I actually know what dictates protocol for an office or building in a city, where things?
Yeah,
would be?
you probably spent some time working in one before you got assigned to Jake and Fred, as the lowest rank eye at the time. They're just it's usually multi-floor buildings that have cells for temporary holding, store somewhere inside. There's usually a level where most of the eyes do their own individual work for the cases they're investigating, and there's a separate area that is for those who are in charge of managing the day-to-day operations of the building, which normally are also held by eyes. But they don't take part in investigations. They're the ones who manage, the quartermaster, that kind of stuff. They have a whole separate thing that they do.
So would I then know how many people are going to be on a certain shift by rough numbers?
It's
Are gonna
like
be
Eppa said, it's like a city the size. He said there's probably 20 or so people, or 20 actual paladins themselves, guys who are operating the city. Knowing the shifts though is that you wouldn't be able to tell, because a lot of when you briefly did work with other eyes, they tend to keep their own schedules because a lot of it, you come in, you do the work that's presented to you, you work it until it's done, and then you do other work around the city until a new job shows up. So it's like they could be working for like days straight, not even showing up to the precinct, or they could be there all day while they wait for like information to come in from contacts they have or more work to show up. It's unfortunately a roll of the dice for how many people could be in there when you guys show up.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Oh, I get it, because you roll dice.
Generally, though, if like at nighttime, they generally don't tend to be open for the sheer fact of like you come and report crime during the day. At night, the place is shut down. Even the cells that hold people like that are meant to be holding people, that's like by temporary. Most people would spend less than a day in those cells.
Yeah.
Like if you're spending a couple days there, you'll probably be sent off to a proper guardhouse to be like you're stationed.
So they wouldn't keep people there every night. They just
Very rarely.
yeah, okay.
So aside from Sylvia, you're looking at the notes. Those who are up in the morning, just an idea what everyone's doing first thing in the morning. Terry, you said you're sleeping in until someone wakes you up. So you can say if you want to do something in the morning, you can just pipe in, let me know what. Otherwise, we'll just assume you're also sleeping until they get up Christine, if that's okay. Akfa, what about you?
So there is still the tavern owner here?
Yep, it's the only other person in the building.
I want to at least peek down, see if they're up.
Yeah, they're like, as Sylvie popped down before, they're just sitting on a chair behind the bar.
I kind of want to approach them calmly, keep the hood up sort of thing. Or whatever I took to cover my face, I guess.
Yeah, they like seem to be almost like leaning back in a chair, just kind of bored, and then you walk up, they look up and you go, yes?
Do you have buckets and a cloth?
There's a perplexed look on their face for a moment. They're like, not what they expected to be asked first thing in the morning, but they're like, yeah, sure, 1 second. And they walk back. As the door opens, you can see a kitchen behind them, and not even a minute later, they come back with an empty bucket and some random cloth.
Thanks, Oh, and, this is a long shot, but you wouldn't happen to have any, say, lost and found clothes that might be my size?
Just like stuff people have left in the tavern.
They might not come back for.
Don't tend to keep track of stuff like that. Most of my staff used to just take whatever they liked home, and everything else we just give away to whoever felt like it.
I would assume what you might have probably would fit.
Yeah, you're a bit big there.
All right, well, I apologize for it being gruesome, but I'm going to go wash off blood.
Shrugs. Sits back like, I didn't ask. Don't want to know.
Yep, I will fill it. Is there a fireplace?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm intentionally going to fill the bucket up and go sit by the fire to do it.
Yeah, there's like it's one of those like large wide hearth ones. It's not lit because it's first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a fireplace.
It's because I can put a tiny bit of charcoal in the water to give it some slightly better properties.
Yeah, easy. So you're washing yourself?
Not enough to like make it a black water, but yeah.
Yeah. All right, Xavier?
If I would like to go to where the notes are.
Alright, so you're also note checking with Sylvie?
Yeah, if Christine has passed out at the desk by the notes, he's gonna take off his cloak and like put it around her shoulders.
I'm assuming she retired back to her own room.
Alright.
You have an entire empty inn, so you have a lot of rooms to pick from.
Yeah.
In that case, also leaving last would be Inazaz. Is there anything you're doing the first thing in the morning of any note?
I don't believe so, unless I can finish up poison. So you need to be in 8 hours.
Yeah, if you want to make another, you can make another poison check. You can keep working on that in the morning, and then Sylvie and Xavier make your checks as well, Arcana or Investigation.
Okay, I will. I'm going to fake gift on Sylvie.
Thank you.
I could use my inspiration.
Absolutely fair.
Oh, that's a 20. That's a dirty
Much
20.
better.
I'm
Well, I
going
could,
to. I'm going to use investigation on this.
Alright. Go ahead. I'll say, Inazaz, with your thing, you're sitting there looking at the vial, like the little flasks or whatever you have for the stuff you've let sitting overnight, steeping, and whatever process you were doing for the poisons. And you open one, almost drop the container, manage to just barely catch it, and then you're able to start working on it again. Luckily, not having destroyed the thing you waited all night for working on.
Oh
What?
no. That would be terrible.
Yeah, that
Look
was.
around to see if anyone saw that. Did anyone say
Luckily,
that?
You look around. The only people who are around is
I
Arthur
felt
washing
it.
himself.
La-da-dum, la-da-doo.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
you know.
I don't know
I'm
how
gonna
we can
do
sing with a
the-
mouthful.
So Inquisitor's Eye, that's the same thing you said before to me of getting yourself the
Yeah,
20?
Yeah. I'm
So it's a
gonna have
24?
Yes, 24.
And a dirty 20 from Sylvie. We'll figure out what exactly poison it is in a minute in Azaz, but for now. With the two things you've rolled, I'll deal with the investigation check first, because it's easier to explain. Looking over what these notes are, with a clear mind, Xavier, you've had to read a lot of paperwork, a lot of boring documentation for the resource intakes in and out, things, blah blah blah. Not a lot of enthralling information, and you're able to quickly pick out that there is a lot of these exact documents that are a lot fresher of resource intake, but these are dealing with numbers of, like, aside from weapons before, some of these are talking about inside a code that you're able to see through clearly Warforged bodies that they're attempting to build. And another stat which seems to potentially be slaves. People being intaked from around the world, taken here and sent to the mines. It says workers, but you know what they mean. And with your 24 as well, as you're going through the notes, you see what Sylvie and Christine were looking at the night before, and you start looking at yourself, and you realize that what they're going over, it's not just some kind of separate arcane formula that you don't understand. It actually looks like schematics of some kind.
Okay.
You're not able to look at full details, but it's like you see the same resource before, and then you look over and see those notes and see some of the same resources mentioned there of, like, strange metals or certain arcane components that have been brought in and then being used in slight notes of design specifications, but that's, like, you're not sure exactly what they're meaning, but they look a lot less like reports of resources and more like schematics of some kind, or someone attempting some schematics.
Could I attempt a religion check to see if this is, like, as well? I don't have slots for it yet, but putting a soul back into a body is within paladin capabilities at a certain level, though I'm not
Like
there to understand it.
revivication magic kind of thing.
Yeah, if this is like anything similar to that.
Sure,
I also have Find Steed, which is it creates a form and a body with a soul in it.
I will say, as a quick thing, you can make one quick religion check just to see if you can find the links between what they're looking at and your own idea, just to try and, like, you were drawing a thread and you're trying to see if you can find a place to put it. So make a quick religion check.
11.
With an 11, you look for a place to find this thread, but revivication magic, what you've learned about it, is actually a form of necromancy. And you can't really find any formulas that you can see at a glance that link up with necromancy, and so that thread just doesn't find anywhere to connect.
Okay.
Sylvie, with a dirty 20, which particular area? Are you going over the same notes you guys looked at before, or are you looking at different stuff?
I think I'll probably go for different stuff, because from what I gather from this stuff, it is kind of talking about the uses of the Soulforge, at least, or like how it works, or what it's doing, or what they want it to do, or whatever. I'm looking for stuff that could point towards, like, things that they're like they want to have avoiding the Soulforge, things that have made it, like, play up. Like, if there's any sort of stuff about, like, avoiding using this here or whatever.
you go through the notes, avoiding the ones you looked at before, like trying to see other stuff, learn information, and you actually manage with your Arcana. You find a section that looks like more of these like magical formula discussions, but they're not talking about like weave magic. They're talking about like actual magical maths. And it seems like you remember that big old weird metallic display you found down in the Soul Forge?
Mhm.
And you remember some like knobs and handles and wheels and turns, and you are kind of seeing some of the symbols in these notes that actually would link up to the stuff that was down on that display. And it looks like that what you find a little section that kind of, it looks like people attempting to turn the Soul Forge on. And you find little notes about like what they said worked, what didn't work, what they like do not do this again, kind of things for little notes of like, oh, hey, turn this dial to this marking, don't turn this one to that mark at the same time, everything turned off. Don't do this one. We got electrocuted when we tried that one.
Because yeah, I looked at my notes from a while ago, and basically the stuff you gave me is that they've been able to figure out part of the Soul Forge.
Yep. And so
Like,
you're finding
they haven't got the whole thing on yet. They don't really know the 100%, or at least that's what they were before. So yeah.
Yeah, so as you're looking at these notes, pretty much that, you find evidence of that exact thing. They're essentially running this thing. They found out a way to turn it on, but their actual control seems to be a lot of trial and error of figuring out what makes it tick and what is working.
Mhm.
But there is one section that you figure out, that you're able to read, that is like, it's kind of like a note scrolled into a margin on one of the pages, and it just says, like, it's just in a section on the side, it says, do not cast magic while the case is opened.
Just
She just sort of like gets a smirk.
in addition to the stuff previously before that, none of it was permanent. Like this switching off and like electrocution stuff, none of that was like labeled as a permanent destruction. Or
Yeah.
stop.
Usually things like, "Oh, I hurt myself," or "We like this thing turned off, but we figured out how to turn it back on," kind of problem.
It's more like stalling a car than
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
anything.
What's it
But
called?
don't cast magic near it.
Room.
So that's the dial that was like we had to get up a catwalk to get to, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was on the overlook section. In that very last room, there was that whole big, essentially control
room.
panel.
The room I went into.
Yep.
Okay, so that is, as far as we know, the control panel. Like that's the main like.
You're assuming
Hub.
it is, given the information
Yeah,
you found. That
from what
there's cross-referencing symbols you've seen before.
Okay.
Yeah, something about that thing is linked to controlling the Soul Forged abilities.
Okay. She's takes that specific page that's sort of going over, like all the things. I'm assuming there's probably multiple of them, and like
Yeah, there's
puts them aside.
there's like a
highlight
dozen
them.
pages of just these old personal notes of someone being like this knob to this level, this knob not to that level, first this one to that. It's like little tiny incremental changes, things.
I like to imagine Christine has like a little side note of it, like of her own attached to it, just going, "What?"
Why? Yeah, so the morning comes and the morning goes as people are working on poisons, cleaning themselves off. Eventually, 10, 11-ish a.m. hits as Christine, you awaken with your full rest. Terra, up to you whether you get up or not. You can still be in bed if you want.
Yeah, your guys' exhaustion has faded.
Yep, Terra's still asleep.
Personally, she's earned that sleep. She danced a lot in the mines.
That is fair.
You did plenty of sleepy in the mines, though.
I don't know if it's sleeping.
I've actually
That's
probably
not a
a few
good. No, you
bruises.
want to do the opposite. If you got a concussion, you don't want to go to sleep.
No,
I think research is debating on that one.
I'm pasting iron.
Research has actually shown that you can sleep.
Yeah, it keeps changing every couple years. It's like Pluto.
Planet.
it's a no.
Concussions
It's the
for
warp
those who don't know.
planet.
It's a planet.
Concussions
No,
are a
but-
planet.
It can be a
Pluto's a planet.
planetoid, but I don't think it's a
Oh,
planet.
yes, Arkva had a
Planetoid.
bathing thought, and we'll say this over to the group. Anyone who's down here, anyway.
Yeah, I'm there.
What if we pushed a soul into the soul forge, like pushed a thing in there?
Interesting.
I think of it like a machination similar to a catapult. If you take out the right bolt, everything will be gone and not repairable.
I'm assuming we're saying this like away from shopkeeper or
I'm
cabin
assuming.
keeper.
Yes.
Episode of looks confused, like, how do those two things link?
I'm on his page.
How does the... I'm just not...
Look, if there's one thing you taught me well, it was catapults.
No, I understand that. I just don't understand how you got that metaphor.
Oh, you're the reasoning. Okay.
A catapult is a spell. He wasn't really good at the magic, but he was good at throwing things around.
Catapults magic?
Yes.
Some.
So, I've been doing some digging and gotten to a part of these very tedious notes that are quite interesting. That control panel that I glanced upon. It looks like it does have quite a few things that you're not supposed to do with it. They're still trying to figure it out. They don't have the whole thing working. Nothing seems to have... Well, of course, nothing has permanently broken it yet, but it is very finicky. And we have a lovely note here that basically says don't cast magic near it as well, so I'm assuming that blew up in their faces quite literally. But as far as I can tell, this is the thing that more or less operates the Soul Forge, at least from what they gather. So if we can destroy this, then who knows? Don't operate this whilst... don't operate magic whilst the case is open.
I was looking through that as well while you were. Looked very familiar to these notes earlier. Put down the 7. This was the standard day-to-day basis of the smiths here for the mine, for the mithril mine, like swords and that sort of stuff. Basic sort of accounting. Looking at these here in a more meticulous eye, it goes over roughly that, but if you look closely underneath all of this, it is explaining that the mithril is being used to create body parts and the intake of the workers. Comings and goings, so...
So they figured out how to make new ones.
It
That's
is
not
a
good.
I thought that this might have some sort of religious sort of thing due to, at a certain level, Epis and I are able to restore a briefly passed on person back to the body and guide it back, and that we can essentially create steeds. That this might have some sort of process to do with the magic of how the soul gets into the body. I couldn't find any link that is necromantic in nature.
On the contrary, actually, I found a lot of links related to more enchantment. Of course, that can rely to putting a spell on top of a thing, but there was not just that. Enchantment itself has a wide cast of spells within its school. There are some that definitely didn't feel like the normal,
I think
at
this
least
is
to my eyes.
very new territory. Well, not so much new, rather. This is very original territory. What is going on here?
Maybe not. I have another theory,
Okay.
but I can't send unless you've got a pigeon.
I raise my hand, like asking for a question.
We know someone that knows souls better than any of us.
My hand is still raised.
Your Ma.
Okay, that's not where I was going, but I was gonna say I could cast sending.
Well,
Please do, first of all.
I'm thinking, as he's still cleaning himself, would she know how to stop a soul being able to go into a new shell? Like putting ammo in a catapult, would she know how to stop that?
You see, Christine's eyes sort of narrow a little bit on that.
I'm sorry, I know it's a lot to ask of you.
Now, just to be clear, I don't think my mother would. No?
I only say it because I trusted her enough to ask about stuff like that myself.
I don't think that's how it works, buddy. If you paid attention, they don't really stop souls from going into bodies. They make contracts. That's it.
But what happens when the body dies? Where does that soul go?
I'm not going further up the chain to figure that question out.
To the Ashen Rings, where they will be judged.
Under one belief.
No, under like how souls work.
Yeah.
It's not a
You need to.
it's not a religious thing. That's just how soul things happen.
That's not even us.
I mean, it is technically us, but also that's just how souls function.
You should see what some of the cults believe then.
No, just do what I do. Just create a shortcut for like a period of time.
Sorry to bring it up. I'll just go back to cleaning.
He sort of
She
looks at
wouldn't know.
you at this. Is like, as far as I'm concerned, any familiarity you have with any extraplanar beasts, not going to bother me right now. So
That's not
whatever.
what I'm worried about.
I know. I'm just letting you know it's okay because right now it's not my business.
My mother's not the one I'm thinking of that would know any information that could be helpful with that question.
The Golden Dragon?
I was thinking the one above her, but I don't like that possibility. The Golden Dragon is a better alternative I'd rather ask.
There is... the Skeleton Man!
Little bit more context.
Please be more specific.
That weird floaty guy we saw near one of the big entrances. The first time I felt one of those rock
Okay.
elementals.
We're not going to
No.
consult a lich.
Wait,
Actually,
maybe.
I'm sorry. I am not the brightest cat. I'm more battle wisdom.
No, that's not what I was.
you
implying.
might. Hang on. You might have a point. What
is
if?
this?
What if the Warforged body is like a phylactery? In a sense. It
What's
holds
his
the
reaction
soul.
to this?
Oh, he
Epus's reaction to this about what
Yeah.
bringing up liches.
About
Yeah.
meeting a lich?
He's just
About
like,
having seen
Man's
the
is-
vision. Yeah.
You thought the man's is sitting there. His
Figuring.
his facial expression has changed from "I'm part of this conversation" to "I'm not saying anything because I don't know what's going on, but I'm listening very carefully now."
I heard Lich, my ears perked up, and I'm like, okay, interesting.
It's not
Top
just
of
lich,
that,
but people mention things that are pretty direct with the idea of lich as well.
did any of you come up with a plan last night? I
Well, I
am
just came
willing
up
to
with
be used
one.
as a bartering chip to get talking with the eyes.
I sort of come up with one now, but it's more to do with getting back into that soul forge and doing something nasty to those control panels. Just from memory as well, like DMs. Was it the building we went into? Was that more active of a night or more active of a day, or did it just seem to be active all the time?
You guys hadn't had a chance of observing it overnight because of the curfew.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, during the day, you know it's quite active, but at night you wouldn't be sure.
Well, when we were there before of an evening, because that's when we left, weren't we? Like it was right before curfew. It was after curfew.
It was just before curfew when you guys started slipping out, and it was still very active.
Okay.
You could still hear the sounds of ringing metal and stuff going on.
I think our best bet is to try and get in there of a night again, just because it's less likely, doing the whole invisibility thing to get back in. It's easier to sneak around of a night. But we know how to get in the entrance now. We have a sort of an understanding of where everything is. If you wanted to do this whole eyes thing, that's honestly, I would leave that up to the eyes themselves to sort that one out. You understand their inner workings a little bit better than I would.
It could be a distraction. Get the guards away.
I would.
Knowing the eyes, what would protocol dictate once they have captured someone?
What do you mean? Capture who? Just a person?
Like captured a person of interest. Would they take them immediately to a guardhouse, or would they?
If the person, alright. Eyes are basically detectives. They only take, the only criminals they keep are ones that they're getting statements from, and those who are Arkva level threats. That the entire Church of Tabris is after them. Those are the only people that would be arrested and kept in the eyes. Everyone else would be at the guardhouse a majority of the time until it is time for questioning, and then moved there for maybe a day or less.
Which is what I mean. So if someone such as Arkva or I were to get caught, we wouldn't be handed over immediately to the guards. We would be processed.
You wouldn't be handed over to the guards.
Yeah, we wouldn't be handed over.
Unless there's something else going on there.
Unless the guards also were to hear that the eyes are trying to take away someone that shouldn't be leaving.
What do you think, Ethith? You suggested something about plate mail for our hobgoblin friend here.
I
think that's something that they should do right now, or?
Depends on when you want to make your attack. Even without plate mail, getting something for your lion friend, because all he has is his claws.
I've got this. Chose the viper. I can dual wield between the two, it's fine.
More equipment is generally good. Lessening the number of people against you would be good.
I've also got my smiting.
Though it would cause a ruckus. It'll move some guards away, but...
Well, there is that one time I did cause an explosion by trying to mix the two energies into a magic wand.
My opinion is that we get this organized tonight, so I feel like if you want to do something to get some gear now, then maybe today is the best bet, if you're feeling up to it. And maybe we get this under control tonight, and then
I think we'll need everyone if we want to do what we want to do.
I only request we keep civilians out of danger.
As I was saying to your friend, there is a very large chance that there are more gavels than eyes in that establishment.
Knock them out first if you have to, and we can figure the rest out later.
Well, we did sneak around on the day before and not get caught out. We can always do the whole old man trick with you again, Xavier. I'm not really sure how we're going to hide you, Akva.
Still got plenty of disguise kit,
Well,
like stuff.
talking about weapons, I could probably throw together something quickly akin to my light gauntlets. I might just have to borrow some stuff from the tavern keeper here.
It's more that if we're going to go outside to deal with this this eye situation, as Epis says, we need to all do it together. So we'll need you to go outside.
I'll change the color in the fur. Can't do no wrong.
I look at the fireplace, looking like I'm about to dive into it.
But I have stuff here from the disguise kit, remember?
If you need weaponry until we get your things, like each precinct has a dedicated armory. We could just take things from there.
Inferior weaponry.
I don't think you'll have time to make your clothes. They take time, as far as I'm aware.
Not with what I'm gonna do. They won't last as long, but they'll hold up against a few hits at least.
Okay.
As long as it doesn't take much more than an hour at least. We do really need to get a
Tavern
move
keep.
on.
How many more buckets do you have? Or loose wood?
I got a couple more buckets. Why? You know what?
Perfect.
I don't need them, I just need to know before I asked if I could break this one.
I don't.
Sylvie drops down 5 gold on the table.
Yeah,
For your trouble.
he just takes the 5 gold and just turns away like he's not going to see what's about to happen.
It's just as she puts it down to for your trouble.
Cool. Akva's gonna get right to work on smashing or disassembling this bucket so we can make makeshift shield gauntlets for the top side with that and cloth.
They're just making like a basic, like a buckler style shield out of a bucket.
I'm essentially doing mini ones at both ends. It's sort of akin.
Okay. Trying to think of what an improvised shield would give in D&D, and the answer is probably a temporary +1 to your armor class.
I'd say Bobka.
Okay, I was gonna say, because this
breaks
is
after
very
a couple hits.
makeshift, would it be better to put a durability on it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have a number of hits and then it breaks.
That was the intention, yeah.
Well, I think whilst you're doing that, I'm going to go wake Sleeping Beauty up and see if she's ready to get a move on. If she's feeling a little better after her constant beating from the last couple of days.
Need something sticky. Inazaz,
What?
are your mushrooms sticky?
No.
It's a joke there.
Then spit on this.
That's
There's plenty of jokes there.
I don't like this.
No, I like
I
it.
don't,
Go.
even- I don't.
You don't want me to do that.
It's like a xenomorph. It's got acid spit.
It's not acid.
It'll make you feel bad though. I'm going to go wake Tara up.
Alright. You go wake Tara up.
She just goes into Tara's room and it's just like, rise and shine. We have a somewhat plan. Are you alive?
Just gonna make a makeshift
Just like,
weapon.
like, oh no.
Anything will make any noise, but she's currently like fully under the blanket, and you just see the blanket kind of move and get pulled over a bit further.
As in, like, you're covering yourself more.
Yeah.
Like a 5 more minutes sort of thing.
Yeah, kinda. 'Kinda. 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 '
sighs and then just like pulls the blanket off.
She is like full fetal position. And just kind of pulls her arms over her head instead. She's returned back to her normal terror form, not the Hesper one.
Wakey wakey. Okay, you know what? We need to start getting ready to go. I'm just going to leave now. I'm going to leave this blanket on the floor. It's going to be cold, and you're going to have to get up and get it. And then you're going to be awake, and you should just calm down and get something to eat. There's food. There. She just leaves.
Tara doesn't say anything. She picks the blanket up, wraps it around herself, and she does go downstairs, and she just sits somewhere and just starts eating and drinking.
The whole party reconvenes at the inn, whether against their will in some regards. So what exactly is the plan you guys are going forward with right now? It's almost midday. What are you doing?
At this point, I'm assuming we're going to do the eyes plan that Epis was suggesting. Because we need that extra firepower. And then I'm assuming after that we can talk about doing the Soul Forge. But that's
Or
what
if
I'm
need
assuming.
to, that will just be our rush after.
I have a question.
Should go for it.
Can anybody learn speak with the dead?
I mean, give me 1 second here, check to see.
Hang on.
I mean, I'm not entirely sure. I know that I have a wealth of magic that is not entirely one that I have full comprehension of. I imagine it's not too dissimilar to speaking to a person, plus the idea of connecting to their soul. So, I think so.
I just thought it
I'm-
might be a good idea to ask these Warforged some questions, specifically if they are acting under their own will or not.
You'd have to give me some time to, well, even see if that's something exactly I can do. While I have a lot of knowledge of arcane, something like that sounds more divine, and if I were to give that a try, I'd need time.
It's just a thought. I don't really care. It's just niggling at the back of my head.
I'll keep that in mind. If you manage to still have hold of someone afterwards, then maybe. I can't confirm. I can only make assumptions based off of the powers I have. I'll keep that in mind. Now, before we go do something extremely reckless, I need to spend a few moments doing a few particular things. I'll let cast Sending.
Who are you
Okay.
casting sending to?
I'm gonna give it
Self.
to myself. I'm gonna talk to myself. That way I have 100. That way I have 50 words instead of 25. I'm gonna do a sending to Jake.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I've written this out. It is 25 words because I can only do it at 3rd level. Information has been found. Assumed location of the Soul Forge discovered. Formulas and vague ideas on how it may work recovered, sorry. That was what meant to be recovered. Epis rescued so many Warforge.
Do you have that written out?
Yeah.
Wait, send that so I can form.
There you go.
To Jake?
What was the other one?
You said so. You sent that to
Fred.
Jake.
Yeah, there's Jake the S and Frederick Let Hands.
Alright, as you send that
Yeah,
to
Jake,
Jake,
yeah.
it's like, that's cool that you got Epis back. I didn't know he was imprisoned. I don't know anything about what you're saying.
I said I'd inform him, and I don't really care what his response is. It's just so to have another person to know what's in the loop.
Okay.
His response means nothing to me.
Alright.
Did you have to say that out loud to send it to him?
Nope.
Okay.
I imagine how Christine does it. It is more of like a internal meditation in a way. It's about just connecting from one point to another.
Does say vocal component though.
Does it?
Yeah.
It's a
think it's-
vocal component.
It could be like a whisper. I wouldn't imagine it being loud though.
Okay. Yeah. You got that back.
I don't
They
get to do anything
shave
else
us
after
for
that.
forks.
There's something else I was thinking of doing, but I'm now doubting that one. I'll leave it for now. So I need spell slots.
Okay. As you make your way through, yeah, actually, how are you gonna make your way through town? That is the question.
That is a great question. Disguise kit Akbar? We can change the color of the fur.
And if I can have everyone roll a d20 into the tower for no particular reason.
Can it be a
I
D100?
think I know
No,
what that is.
just
Okay.
d20.
Can it be a D100? You round it down to the nearest, like, 5 and then divide it by
No.
20.
Yeah, do you want to do that down here,
You want
up in the room?
Either or. We can do it up in the room if you need.
Akfa's just gonna, like, throw off the cloak.
Mhm. And yeah, imagine we'll just be doing the same things we've done in the past, is just going through dyeing the hell out of your fur.
By the end of this campaign, I'm gonna be a rainbow lion.
Absolutely.
Or, you know, the true yin and yang lion.
Yeah, some of it will actually just stain into your, like, fur.
That's awesome.
I'll just wait till the one day the tattoos come, then they'll be stained. Old lady will have a heart attack and spill all the ink on me.
I will spend a bit of time trying to give Akbar a new coat of paint.
Okay.
Alright, let me come up with a new identity.
Franklin Herberts.
As you all, as he's being painted, what's other people doing? If there's anything to be done.
Well, I would say since it is early morning that we are going about this. Or
Well, at this point, it's nearly mid.
nearly midday. Okay, I'd say I'm not wearing armor.
Okay.
I have my armor. I'm not wearing it. I'm wearing a cloak.
The
Alright.
stealth mission, yes, that we're doing.
Oh,
We're
now.
moving through the city at this current
Yeah.
point.
I think I know that we were seen by Warforged in the I'm pretty sure none of the Warforged got out, as far as I know. But regardless, I'm probably going to. She's just going to change up her look a little bit. Just like she'll probably sort of like tie her hair up a smidge, maybe change the way her makeup looks with the makeup wand.
Okay.
Just enough to look a little different. Just in case like there's some kind of alert for her
Fair
if
enough.
someone saw her. But yeah.
Alright. So you guys are just gonna go? Any transformations I need to be aware about other than makeup and disguise kits?
I will definitely do something different as well.
Oh.
This will be as leaving. I'll probably go stick with human again.
Mhm.
But I might actually like make myself a bit shorter.
Okay.
Probably more along the lines of like 5'1", 5'2", instead of like 5'4". Just like a tiny bit like shorter.
2 inches.
Yeah, just that. There's just like the tiniest bit, just in case like they're looking for specifics.
Mm.
I'll do
Fair enough.
that. My hair will probably be a short blonde, just that tiny bit past the shoulders, and much paler skin.
I'm just gonna assume Terra's gonna do Terra things.
I'll burn
That's
my
fine.
disguise self.
Okay.
I have adjusted my name accordingly.
What are you disguising yourself as this time?
Same thing he has been this whole time.
And I'm
Human?
gonna use the
Aramis?
traveler's stuff.
The general that Sylvie is supposed to talk to, that guy.
If that's who it was, that's who it is.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Shaku.
If everyone is good to go, we'll have everyone roll stealth check.
Awesome.
Hold on for Terra, I guess.
Hey, I love my stealth rolls. They make me happy.
Uh,
that is a really
Now,
bad
I have a quick
roll.
question. Is this a group check?
Who knows?
Oh, I was going to ask if that would affect us. Can I use the inspiration to help him?
Inspirations can only affect yourself.
Yep, okay.
Now you say stealth performance?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
Are you going out of your way to show people that who you are?
No.
Then no.
I'm pretending to be an old man.
But are you going along the street going, I'm an old man? Or are you gonna hide while pretending to look like an old man?
So you're saying I can use medicine?
You want to be discreet, or do you want to blend in?
Those are the things. Like, if you want a roll thing, you're not being hidden.
I think this would have been better
If
if I
it
picked
goes
medicine.
badly, you will be found out.
You know what? A dirty 20 is a dirty 20. I'd be happy with that.
Okay.
Wondering
have
if
some
we
good
use a
rolls.
potentially higher rolls.
I'm gonna add a 5 to that.
Okay.
That is a very reasonable approach.
As you all start making your way, I'm just gonna ask, Inez, are you wearing your armor, or are you taking that off?
No, I'm wearing the armor.
Okay, all good. Double checking. As your group starts making your way through town, you have to go on the main streets for a little bit before you can start ducking into the side streets. And as you do,
Oh, I did forget a thing. That's fine.
Go ahead.
I'll worry about it later. I was just gonna cast Pass Without a Trace. It's kind of
Oh, okay. Yes.
what I do.
That did need to be. Are you going to do
Yeah,
it?
no.
Because we can adjust.
It's all good. Don't worry about adjusting. I'll do it next time.
Okay.
My
all
bad.
good.
That's a...
Monster.
What is me? I'm the monster.
No, him.
Oh, okay. It's like you're a monster, AJ. What? What did I just
I mean, you
say?
should already know that.
You should assume things. You know what? That, to be fair, I did assume that thing was transforming to not look like herself. So you know what? That is on me.
Totally haven't made up a whole backstory and everything in 2 seconds.
That okay. I'm just gonna share this map. I'm just gonna double check if anyone remembers. Did we say that black square was the eyes? I think
No,
that's.
I don't.
I thought the.
I think that's what's lining up in my brain, at least.
I thought that's where we were.
No, because I remember that one of the tavern keep is one of these big open areas with the
Yeah,
the
yeah,
part in the
that
middle.
I think that was the tavern.
Yeah, one of them is the tavern. Yeah, I'm just double checking.
Yeah, because I remember I went up the road and it was about like there.
Okay.
The black square's the tavern. The orange circle's where I was
The orange
when I
circles.
was found out.
The orange circle's where the soul forges. We've
Yes.
located
Okay.
that. I know what the orange circle is. I'm wondering about the
I
black
think-
square.
I think AJ's
Yeah.
right. I think that was because I think you guys saw that on your way over.
Oh,
Otherwise, it was further down.
yeah, no, the tavern was further down. I remember because I threw coins in there, got everyone beat up.
No, I meant the
No. But he's agreeing with me that the square is not the tavern.
Yeah, the tavern where Axel got people beat up was around where I'm pointing at here with the arrow.
Okay. Yeah.
What's it?
Yep, that's this because you guys came up this road, and then you were stopped here. You ran up this way, and then it ran into the tavern here.
Right, yeah, because I jumped over the roof. That's why I was over there.
Yeah, that's where you got all those people arrested.
Yeah, and down the street was the other fight. Okay.
Yep.
Just for visual sake. Sorry, chat. I'm just looking at the thing small. All right, so you guys are here-ish, where that square is. All right, so ignore the drawing. Someone's been drawing, and I'm just not caring.
Sorry,
it's fine.
that was me.
You'll get poor drawing. Okay. As you are walking. As you're walking up the street, as I said before, you head into the main street for a bit, and then you start making way through that side streets to get around, and then make your way briefly into the main street once more to go into the precinct. As you're in the back streets, as you're all walking down, Christine, Sylvie, and Inazaz. I didn't roll for Terra. I should. You all notice a pile of like dried blood that looks relatively fresh
Neat.
on your path.
Interesting.
How did I see that?
This is. Sorry, you said this was out in the open or in a.
in a back alley.
I would like to touch it and do the little thingy with it, if I could.
Yeah.
Where's my ability?
As you go ahead and do that, everyone else as you do it, like everyone else sort of snaps to it and can see it at this point. As it's not a big pile of blood, it's very like maybe about the size of your palm. But as you go ahead and like play with it, it's still got a little bit of consistency in it. Like it's dried for sure, but it's still got a little bit of play. It's probably like a couple hours old, maybe.
I'm talking Whispers of the Dead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think it's a thing I can cast.
Is that a short rest thing or a?
It is whenever you finish a short or long rest.
Okay, so you're just going to use that for your Whispers of the Dead next time you do it?
I was just going to touch on it and see if I could get some kind of image from what it was.
Well, that was tied to skill checks.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, never mind.
Yeah. Well, like you can I'll let you like do it so you can do it later if you want. If you want to sort of make that connection with this blood now, the next time you use Whispers of the Dead, it can be with that person's memories. It's just
okay.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting.
Could I? This will be obviously after a moment of them doing that. Since I'm somewhat used to hunting wild game, could I track the blood?
Yeah, go ahead. Roll a survival check.
I would like to inspo.
Go ahead.
I need to go AFK for a little bit because one of my children has woken up. But I've got my headphones on so I can hear what's going on. I just can't talk.
All good.
Yeah.
As you sort of look, you see that this palm-sized spot, like drips a little bit. You can see like scuff marks where stuff was kicked over, and you do so. You see that it's like dust covering some more blood. Eventually, you find it lead to a couple behind some trash cans left outside. These like big wooden crates made for rubbish. You see behind them is a body. One that looks like Christine remembers as that like eye that was like, why are we doing this? Like what's going on?
Oh.
I imagine it's like it's tucked in over the trash, like sort of moving a bit out the way, seeing that look, like kind of not even taking that notice. Like, is a freshly dead body? It's just looking them up and down, just like turns to Epis. That was the one which we saw doubting themselves.
You then all hear, "There's been another murder by these criminals who have investigated the city. Someone has been murdered. One of the eyes."
Ooh, round 2 for accusations.
like you see like this news being spread through a loud, very gruff repeat, and then it sort of like
Can I see the
spreads.
person?
Huh? No, it just seems to be a loud visual thing. You can, if you want to try, you can try.
I would like to rush to try to see that person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just
Yeah.
like get to the corner to where the sounds are, just
Yeah.
to like have that eye contact with them.
As you rush, you see a one of the guards, one of the more elites, and then like immediately after, you see a bunch of criers like moving around, saying the same information over and over again.
That guard.
Mm.
Are within 30 feet of me?
No, he's like at the end of the street.
I can't
In the main
smell
room.
this. Boo.
I've got a. Hang on. How long does
Sorry.
that take to? Okay.
There's an emblem and everything. on them.
Where is he currently standing?
He was standing in like the middle of sort of. So you guys would be around here-ish as you're making your way up on the side and going there. So he's probably at this intersection.
Oh, this
At
is
the
gonna be a
intersection?
risk.
Yeah, this intersection, and then he's like moving up.
How far is he away from me? Like 60 feet? Would you say?
A bit more, yeah. Like it's like going down the end of a block.
Okay.
If I can cut in,
Mhm.
I have something that I want to do, which is a bit reckless, but I feel like is one of the few things that I can
Mine's-
do.
Also reckless.
I would like to rush out towards them. If that, trying to play up that look of like worry, as if I just like, and like that kind of like half like, partial like scream of fear of like seeing someone just like a body or like someone murdered or that towards the guard. As soon as I get within 30 feet, I'd like to charm them.
Okay. And what are you doing, Xavier?
Once I get within like 60 feet,
Mhm.
I would like to be subtle about it, but I'd like to cast Zone of Truth centered on that man.
Okay, so I have to make 2 saves, right?
My one is a wisdom save. I just need to remember
Mine's
its DC. Where's the allure? Where's the allure? Where's the allure? Take it off. DC 17.
Mine, I believe, is also DC 17? No, DC 16. If I get math right.
And do you tell? Let's see.
DC 15, sorry. 8 plus 4 is 12 plus 3 is 15, yeah.
This is a really dumb play.
You know whether each creature succeeds. You know he succeeds.
Shit.
No,
That's my turn?
No, the Xavier's thing. He succeeds the Zone of Truth.
Okay, good.
Okay.
But he is charmed.
Oh. Good. Just double checking to know how I can use this. I'm assuming this is all verbal the verbal commands. As I get close to them, it's like, please, like, protect me. You saw them, right? You saw like someone with like similar armor that attacked with the drawn weapon. I thought they were meant to protect us. They tried to frame us. Like looking at them with my eyes, like it was one of the people from Use, right?
What's your question? You're asking him.
If it was one of his people, those were working in the eyes, and I'm just trying to like get a response out of him.
Are you asking if it's one of the eyes or is one of his people? Because he's a guard.
Oh,
He's a
one of
town
his people.
guard.
Sorry, one of his people.
Okay. He's like,
Sorry.
no, ma'am, it was one of the criminals who did that. Why would the guard be murdering civilians or ICE?
I swear I saw someone who had armor doing it. You saw me walk over there. I was not far from you before. It couldn't have been any one of us. And like as I'm like close to him now, it's just that sort of whisper in the ear. It's like, you will follow along with my play.
So what are you trying to? You want him to
You
pretend?
agree
that,
with me.
You want him to agree with you that
Yes.
you're saying that and I did it.
No, just a guard or some side. I like will say like I'll kind of mix both of the idea that it could have been a normal guard or an eye in it.
Agree that it had nothing to do with us.
Yep.
Okay.
A dude wearing armor did it.
You're saying just a dude wearing armor did it.
Formal armor.
Formal armor.
I mean, the only people in armor in the city are guards and
Yep.
the eyes.
Yep.
Let me read one thing real quick.
Go for it. Basically, the command itself, though, is to play along and agree with me. Lies or truths do not matter, whether you know or not. Right now, we need a distraction.
That's a tough call.
Imagine it's really tough. That's a weird one.
Okay. Yeah, he'll go with you, and he'll be like, "Well, I can protect you, ma'am, but I'm sure that none of the people wearing armor in this town did it. It must have been one of the criminals."
How do I want to just...
Just a quick wind back.
Yep,
Did you
go
say
for
the
it. You
one
wanna go?
buried behind the trash was still in armor?
No, he was in his. Yes, but technically no. He's in his leather armors, which, for those who like for Xavier and stuff, that's like Under Armour, under like working splint or working plate.
Yeah.
It's just like a leather cuirass sort of deal.
Could I do a... I want to say it might be investigation, could be perception.
Mhm.
Just to sort of look over to see if I can recognize the type of wound, like weapon that could have done it, because there wasn't a lot of blood.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be a medicine check.
Yeah, you can do. I'd allow like
Medicine?
medicine, or I was gonna say can like your intelligence isn't as high as your wisdom. Yeah, I think medicine's your better bet. I was gonna try and be like, we want to give you something.
Nope. I'm not that experienced.
He was stabbed.
You can
Yeah.
tell that it was like. I'll give you. You can tell it probably wasn't a singular weapon.
I mean, I could probably get the common sense that, it wasn't an arrow, because that would have done a lot more damage if pulled out, and,
There was,
probably wasn't a big sword.
there seems to be multiple wounds, with like different levels of things coming from different directions. So you can assume either like someone was on a frenzy or there was multiple attacks.
Not my sort of rage. Though this is infuriating. I'm gonna kill the Cavils.
That is sort of your job, potentially.
Oh.
I mean, not really, but like.
I was doing it,
No one's gonna
I
stop
wasn't
you.
getting paid to do it.
What happened?
Recap: your thing failed. Christine tried to charm, and the charm was working, but it's not going fully along with the plan.
Can I point out there's not a lot
Oh,
of...
Yeah.
right.
Every turn they have to make the save.
Yeah, he just the thing is because he walks towards Christina, he walks out of its range.
Any creature on a failed save, creature can't the light radius. An effective creature aware of the spell. Till the spell ends, a creature that enters the spell zone for the first time or starts its turn there.
Yeah.
That's not the way that
Yeah, so it's like-
typically plays in truth, though. I feel like it's usually a
I
one and
realised I was
done.
on push to talk.
Yeah.
Oh,
I might do a quick medicine check as well,
Yeah,
just
go ahead.
just to have a look.
Yeah, if you heard it's the guy you saw before.
Yeah.
I can at least rule
And
out
it's
some
also a
weapons.
crap roll.
More of the same, multiple weapons, probably.
The guy was attacked by multiple assailants with various weapons.
There's not enough time to have a good look at it completely. So, honestly, I want to get away from the body because it's just like if we're caught standing over the body, then yeah, it's gonna be a bad time. So yeah, I'll sort of move away from that. Not too far away from the rest of the
Go
group.
catch up.
Yes.
What are you doing now, Christine? I think that's really the question here.
it's a great question.
And is there an answer?
I was gonna just say just like sort of lessening the amount of playing up, but still putting on that sort of worried look. Do you know of anyone that could like at least see? I swear it couldn't have been them. Like someone else that can investigate this. I need you to plead their innocence.
At that
I
point,
swear.
he. At that point, he just sort of shakes free. Like, before he does, he's just like, the noble guards of Sonaris will investigate the truth. Thank you for that. As he sort of like finishes saying that, he sort of like brings his hand up to his head and starts like scratching his brow again. You feel like the connection is probably going to tether.
I mean, sever.
Sever.
We could just keep moving quickly.
I need to remind myself that I don't think it has any. If I've ever seen what happens if it severs on its own, if they recall anything.
Probably not worth waiting around to find out.
No, I
Yeah,
think
move
I
on.
think I wouldn't do anything particularly. I would try to move myself to the side, like as they move away, and then just slink back around my own way. I'll probably change my appearance. Long greener hair, tan skin.
As you
Taller.
go ahead and do this, as by the time you turn the corner, you feel like the connection is thoroughly snapped
Yeah.
at that point. Does he?
It doesn't show anything, which is why it's like it is entirely up to you with your power. I have no idea.
Would
Yeah.
tell you if I remembered, but I don't remember anything from the jungle.
He sort of looks.
I snapped that on purpose and stunned you.
He sort of
Yeah.
looks around and is like, all right, like makes his way back up to a guard station. As you all sort of slink past the body, I assume.
Yep. I will cast a message as I sort of turn the corner to Sylvie first, pointing out my new disguise, and I'll do it again to everyone, one to one.
Like, as everyone's like, as this has been going on and gathering up and people are talking, he will.
We need to move. We need to move. we need
Epis
to
has
move.
been like, he's got the kid's hand and he's been muttering something under his breath for the entire time. And like when you're ready to go, he finishes doing a couple of hand gestures and then gives like a very solemn nod and continues to follow.
Well, that was worth a try. Hopefully, at least put some confusion into his head. Doubt it will do any big thing. Oh well.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but I think we'd be safer the sooner we got inside a temple.
Not a temple. It's just a precinct. He sort of looks over to as you're like going to head the corners, like, it's that on the west. How are we doing this? Are we just having everyone enter at the same time? Are you all going to be hiding out outside until something is said or heard?
And are we killing people?
I am but your humble servant, Onyx Void.
We're not killing civilians. We're not going to try to be killing anybody. That will incriminate people more. We're going to enter. We're going to try and find someone who doesn't. We're going to check inside first, because it may. If an eye truly, that is the body of an eye, correct?
That
Yeah.
is the body of that Sylvie and Tara, that Sylvie and Christine were like. He was the one questioning. He's like, why isn't that thing helping me out? We're not following the orders that we should have. What's going on?
Okay, so we're going to have a look around. If they're acting busy as opposed to actually being busy, then we know for certain who is who and what is happening.
I'm a little bit
Then we
rusty,
go
but
from
I
there.
can try and give you a telltale sign.
Wouldn't the easiest way to get an idea of who's who's base reaction to Ephesus' presence?
His presence and knowing that the fact that one of their own is being killed.
If he's the one to announce it, surely that could cause someone who might not be on the exact side to flinch.
That was the general plan, yeah.
Very well.
And as soon as you notice whoever flinches, take him down.
With the Whispers of the Dead ability I have, would it be safe to assume that from this specific body, investigation would be the
It's probably one of the best, that or religion. Basically, any one of
Maybe.
Xavier's skills is something that you
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
have.
So I'll drop history.
Congratulations on
You
finding
still need
God.
to do a short rest or a long rest for it to happen.
Pardon?
You still
thought
need to
it
do a
was-
short rest or a long rest because it happens at the end of a rest when you change over. So at your next rest, then it would switch over to the new skill.
Whispers of the Dead. You're right. Yeah.
So you
That's
keep
what I
history
was
for
saying,
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll note that anyway. I don't think I'm going to be using either of those abilities, but I've just switched it over now. Come useful later.
My main question is everyone coming in all at once, or are we going to play this with only a couple people moving in at a time?
I'd say a couple at a time, and we're just very close nearby. The presence should be announced close to the door. I imagine everything can be heard from there. We're more trying to spark signs of inner conflict. I think trying to play ourselves all the way to the office into an empty room would be a bit too much, and a bit too disconnecting between us.
Right, can I do a quick history to try and recall any that are very obvious telltale signs I found? I assume most, however, took several days.
Oh god, there was something.
Yeah, you can try roll a history to see what you remember
Can I do
It's-
too?
I'm a little rusty, but
about finding.
It's like, wasn't there like a sort of like thing on them that signified that they were? I swear there was, and I might be misremembering.
I don't believe there's any insignia.
There isn't. I'm
Like,
misremembering
they
something
usually
else.
their armor contain. Like, they have a tabard they wear over their armor that has a symbol of the eyes on them.
Not
Yeah.
that. Let's say more discreet. Never mind. If there isn't, then there isn't.
The eyes are not discreet. Eyes are very much like we're eyes when we should walk into the room because we're wearing armor covered in our symbols.
I was also thinking gavel related.
Hey, how messy is the armor? Like, is the armor, like all the gear he's wearing, like covered in blood, or?
There was very
the
little
stuff he's
blood.
wearing is like there's like wounds and stuff like that are there's more blood here than there was before, like in the other area because he's been resting here for longer. But yeah, it's a decent amount of blood.
Can I start stripping him of all of his like clothes and gear?
If you want.
I thought we'd moved away.
Did we?
Unless you were doing this
I
before
mean,
we
Some of
left.
the party started moving away.
Yeah, the party decided
Yeah.
to go away, but I mean, you can go back and start stripping if you
Tara,
wanted to.
Tara will go back. Like, she just walk off from the others without saying anything. Go back, strip all this guy's stuff off, change her form to look like him, and then put all his gear on, then just walk back to the group and not say a word.
Alright.
That'll take a couple minutes, but it is something we can say is happening.
Yeah. I think as the people are deciding, we'll go do a break so you guys can figure out who wants to go and when, and where everyone else is. I think we'll take our bio break right now, real quick. Have a short one before we head back in. Yeah, you're back. I need to leave for a bit.
Wow, how dare he?
Oh no, how dare he? Same.
You got my
Yes.
messages, okay?
I think she just stepped away.
Oh. How rude.
I know, right?
I'm ready for the fight. Let's go.
What do you mean? There's not going to be a fight. You're all going to be happy
Nah,
holding
nah,
hand, man.
Nah, let's do it. Tell them
Why
all.
my kids never want me to play D&D? She's just sitting on the bed like, I'm perfectly fine now, but I'm going to make intermittent child sounds.
Hooting
At least
as
she's
you
not
do.
crying.
The child demands attention.
She's just like, excuse me, I woke up and you need to give me your undivided attention.
Yeah,
Like,
I woke
even
up and now it's your problem.
Basically.
Have fun with it.
Why can't you be like the older one? She just sleeps. I go in there and I fix up her blankie before I go to bed, and she just wakes up and just says like something like "Hi, Mum," and then just goes back to sleep. And it's like, oh, why can't they all be like you?
Because they need to annoy you.
Yeah, no, Charlie was a bit of a pain in the ass at this point in her life. I think the 7-month age was kind of when she used to just randomly wake up. I don't know. Do you remember that, Ian?
Do I remember? Honestly, no. I don't remember how Charlie was when she was 7 months old.
She used to wake up 12 o'clock at night, every night, just about. And that's
I like that one. I like the consistent wake up at the same time every night. It was easy to
Yeah.
work with.
Yeah, it was. Evie's a what do you call it? Now my brain doesn't want to work.
Silly
Cool.
bean.
You don't know what she's gonna do. She keeps you on your toes. It could just, she could sleep through till like 7:30
She's the
in the
wild
morning.
card.
She's a wild card. That's the one. She's a wild card. You a wild card, Evie? She said, "I'm pretty comfortable where I am. I just wanted to sleep on this bed and not in my actual bed." That's fair. You do you.
And back.
Welcome back.
Hey.
Did you get my messages before? Okay.
I did. I'm just trying to find the exact wording I wanted to do for something.
Okay. Let's just double checking you got them.
Hudson and Merkel.
Words are hard. How do words work?
Listen, I don't do words. I do typing and way too much of it.
Wait, that's words.
I don't do England. I do numerology.
The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
You're playing?
Name.
Plain.
Based Giga Chat.
That's insane. In the
In
membrane.
the membrane.
Insane in the brain.
Hey, Darian.
Yeah.
I have 22 marks of this.
Nice.
Just because, nothing else going on right now on stream. I'm just going to talk about RuneScape.
Listen, I've been running laps at Ardoin, as I do every D&D game I play.
I'm back.
I have 370 more laps for a level. This is my life.
Yes.
No, I've been shining on it.
You should go shiny.
I need to make sure everything runs.
No, shiny hunt always, forever.
I could have, but I wouldn't.
That's your
Hey,
Not
Jake.
strategy.
I could have made like eggs, I guess. That wouldn't have been that distracting. What was there? What am I looking for?
No.
The gun.
Oh, yeah, for me?
No, never for you.
The bullet for me? In my head? In game?
Game.
Minecraft? In Minecraft? With the realistic guns mod? In my mind, I was thinking that we throw Epis and Xavier in first. I'm unsure about throwing Aquavor into. Mostly just because, if that's found
But
out,
what
it
if we
could be
throw
worry.
Dead Eye in?
That's a not part of this plan. That's a different plan that you're doing.
And throwing the dead eye in is pretty fun.
I don't think throwing in me and Azazel Sylvie would be helpful, but being on standby would be the best.
Hey, I'll kill some guys. I don't care.
Yeah, I know you'll kill some guy. That's why you're on standby.
What's that? I won't? Yeah, I will.
No, I know you will. That's why you're on standby.
Why is it the barbarian can hold his temper better than the others?
Because I'm designed not to.
It's in my flaws.
I'm the fire druid.
Let me see how many flaws I have. None apparently.
Base.
Hey man, you're perfect.
Flaws. Fucking stupid.
No, I've
No,
seen
that's not
worse.
correct. Flaws. Obsessed with catapults.
Sure.
Tiled, not wood grain.
Flaws really hard to disguise.
I'm not that hard.
I mean, you're a large man covered in fur.
I also offered to literally roll in charcoal.
You're in a city where no one else has fur.
It's not true. There's animals here.
Yeah,
I don't
no
count
one-
animals as people.
Animals
Whoa,
and-
Darren, hold on. That's so. How
That
dare
sheep
you?
has rights too.
Cats, dogs, mice, gnomes, they're not people.
That's
I see.
weird.
The
Agree on
3-3
that
now.
part, but
I'm just getting things set up and then we'll jump back in.
I think I'm starting to understand why people like the fruit and nut, like Cadbury's chocolates. It's actually not bad.
It's because we've got fruit and nut.
Yeah, there was only one in the cupboard, and I was like, oh, I'll try this. And actually, no, kind of like it.
Still got chocolate in it.
Yeah.
Good win.
Yeah. The one chocolate I am always sick of is the those picnic bars. Because we used to have a client who we worked with who worked at the like one of the place in Melbourne that they actually made those picnic bars, factory for it, and as payment for us doing their work every year, on top of paying us, they would drop off literally garbage bags full of offcuts that are like, yeah, these didn't make it into the packets. Yeah, but you eat like 100 picnic bars, and you're like, I don't want to see a picnic bar again.
Okay.
And then the dude shows up with another 3 bags full of them.
Yo?
I can sort of look at it like, okay, the first time it happens, okay, that's actually pretty nice. Second
First time was great.
okay, a bit strange, but thank you. Third time, fuck off.
Third time,
Too
he's like,
much.
I have had enough of picnic bars. I don't need more picnic bars. Here's some more picnic.
Yeah, we
Could've
always
asked
have
him for a
picnic.
Snickers.
Picnic bars are ones we typically actually have in the cupboard from when we get like favorites boxes, because only like 2 of us in the house eat them.
So,
And only when you're
Not
desperate
Turkish delights.
No, those actually get eaten.
so
Yuck.
just so I know, who's
Mhm.
going in? Xavier, Epis, is anyone else going in with them?
The wind.
I mean, it depends what people say about the dead man standing behind them.
Yeah, let's factor in that people are now aware of your presence as well.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
factoring the
Eris
awareness.
also never. Actually, no. She did turn into a male once. She was a male lizard folk.
That
Wow.
Dragonborn dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Franklin.
Onyx Void is glad to see you walking amongst the living once more.
You see Epis take a very sharp inhale, and then just like immediately just like shakes it off. Like, I've got things to say, but right now is not the time.
You can say like 3 words if you wish.
You are
Dead
100%
man
getting...
walking.
You are going to get a scolding from this man once it's all over. I think we all are.
I have things to say, but not now.
But yeah, so Tara, I'm not gonna bother changing Tara's token, but Tara is dressed up as a guy. Are you going with them? Is that the trio going in?
That's up to them. She's not saying anything. If they put her in there, she'll go in there. But otherwise, yeah.
I'm assuming you're gonna go in anyway.
This, I think this one's returning from duty. Should we let them in?
Okay.
I'm going to wait with Christine outside.
I'm gonna say yes. Actually, I think. I'd like
Oh,
to
you're
go
going
in, but
with-
no. I was gonna say yes to like just those 3, but I'm torn on if I go into just in case.
Because I'm going to stay out because I've got a pretty good perception. If I can hear things going wrong, I will be able to go in quickly.
I'm quick on my feet too. I'm willing to knock down a door if they lock it.
I'll go in too.
Okay, so everyone is going in, but Sylvie and Inazaz is what I'm hearing.
No, I'm outside.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Huh?
My bad.
Servants must wait outside. That is master's orders.
So Christine, Tara, Xavier, and Epis are going in.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't like the other alternative of them 3.
Alright. Let me share that.
I think it's some new clothes anyway.
The
You're
alternative
damn
of
right I have new
specifically them
clothes.
3 scare me.
They're just not my clothes.
I'm
I
going
don't know. I have
to-
hopes for Epis.
Epis, yes.
Well, I will bring up that there are there are going to be what's it called? Guards and things, but because it's a hassle to Gavels and Ayaz are going to be there, but it is a hassle to determine which is which. So I'm going to just keep them off the tracker until it's necessary. Keep them off the map until it's necessary.
I didn't know if I got an answer before, by the way. Was there any telltale signs with that history check?
Let me switch to the main screen.
Or is it more from the idea that, I genuinely had to study them for days to pick up on
It
some?
was a lot of studying, as you said, but it was also you were sort of focused on the
Tenants.
officials and the
The
tenants.
more priests, yeah.
Yeah. So the Gavels themselves, you can sort of tell that if they follow these sort of tenets, if you sort of said things along the lines of what an I would say, if they don't play along or they edited it a little, you might be onto them. But you were more focused on individual priests and stuff, and spent a lot of time detailing them more than anything else.
Okay. I mean, I will pass along that, like, little tidbit. Like, at least the priests were generally pretty good at their tenets. You know, only slipped up once or twice.
As we enter, you guys enter this building. It seems to be a multi-layered building, at least 3 layers from the outside. As you walk in, this is a familiar sight to Xavier, but not like a very long one. You weren't ever stationed at a precinct. You've probably visited once or twice in your training, and then this is area sort of designated to people who are like here long term. So you sort of have the gist of what's going on, but you haven't been in a place like this for long periods of time to figure everything out. You see a number of commoners that look like they are just on these benches, couches to the side of you. They don't seem to be wearing any uniform like that, but they are what are they called? They're just civilians. It looks like this person in the desk is wearing the purples of the eyes, but they're also like not a fighter. They just seem to be someone who works at the station. It's like very pale purple symbol of an eye on the breast pocket, but they seem to be like a scribe or someone like this one is like a greeter for people who enter the station.
Yeah, as you walk in, they're like writing something at the desk. You walk in, they look up and go, "Oh, how can I help you?" As they see the 4 of you walk in.
Is there a particular order? Because I think the order is going to matter.
I think I would have pushed for.
Okay, you're at the back. That is the order that I care about.
I would have probably pushed for Xavier and Epis to lead and me to be along.
Yeah.
Like the idea of like a potential like if need for witness or whatever, just throw anything in my direction. I'll try to play off of it.
As Epis walks in.
How, given what has happened, does anybody seem to be working in some sort of a panic?
At this stage, you can't see anything. This, despite it, I should have missed a thing. This is a large wall with a door in there. You know that this is for like guards to walk in. More than anything, this barrier here, it should be a wall. So you can't see the back row. That's my fault. I forgot to draw that line on the map. But this is like a gate sort of door blocking vision from the rest of the back.
Yep.
At this point, all you can see is this, and there's commoners talking, as well as you can hear that there are like someone going like, yeah. And what else did you see that night?
Hello there. I may have some information about what happened. It was causing a real ruckus. Last I think I took a peek at who did it.
You're walking up to this person at the reception desk.
Yeah. Hobbling.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure my face is not being revealed, but as if I'm having trouble.
I'll try to support them.
Okay, so you hobble forward like, I saw what happened last night, and the person's like, oh, okay, well, if I can help you with that, please take a seat up there. I can see if we can get one of our eyes to come down and take a statement about, could you tell me the nature of the crime that you're dealing with?
I believe it's murder. Yes. Sorry, I'm very old in my ears. It's getting a bit.
Yeah. And so you step forward. That near you is like Epis is moving with you, and I'm assuming Terry, you're just like following behind them.
Yep, should be sort of very much sticking to the back, kind of more hiding behind them, so she's not very obvious and stuff. And it's probably pulled things around to cover the stab wounds and stuff in the armor and all that.
Can you roll a stealth? Just like you're not like you're hiding your things. I just want to see how well you're hiding your things more than anything.
I'll just say that for now. I'm just supporting
Okay.
Xavier's appearance, like trying to help, like guide and like move him around as needed. Not saying much, but just helping.
Yeah, you see, when he mentions the guy's like, I see, very, very important. Starts writing a note down, and he's like, if you could just take a seat on the couch over there, and it's like he goes like hand this little note to you, to be like, and I will come down and see you shortly, and you can tell him about. And he stares past you at Terra, in the body of the man who is dead in the street, and he just kind of stares. I come see you soon.
Yeah. I want to turn my head to look at the direction, to like see, obviously where Terra is, but almost like a kind of force like look through, as if just not noticing exactly. Turn back and it's like I try to play on that look of confusion.
Like that. Who are you seeing there?
Yeah,
Is it a ghost?
yeah.
I like that.
You guys, yeah, the guy's like, he's
Is
half
everything
attention on you
okay?
guys. Yes, as I said, if you can just please take a seat on the couches over there. You'll be called up shortly when an eye is available to take your statements. You're like,
Okay. You sure everything's fine? You look. Yes. All right. Sure.
You look like you've seen a ghost.
yeah, and the person's like getting up from the chair a bit. He's like, it's no problem at all. Please take a seat. As he starts like moving around, kind of to that like the around the side to like both usher you all like up towards the seating, but they're also kind of like stepping around you guys to like move towards Terra.
Mm-hmm.
Did you? Did we find Nesbit?
What'd you say?
Did we find Nesbit there? I think we did, didn't we?
You're in a bit
I'm
of a
talking-
shock. We did that well before.
Okay.
Let's just take a seat
Sarah
and.
will like step over the like. How big is that plant? Is that like a plant that like?
It's like
could
a,
step
it's like
over,
a, it's like a
or-
decorative tree bush. like,
Tara like stands kind of in it, so it is like she should not be there or exist.
Oh my god.
The guy goes to like, so you're acting like you're trying to act like essentially an apparition.
Effectively, yeah.
Okay, can you make a performance check?
Oh.
Can my help give her advantage?
Roll for etherealness.
You know what? Because I'm nice.
yeah,
And it's
no,
kind
I
of funny.
agree. Advantage. I think,
Yeah,
is funny.
Christine. Yeah, she actively acts like it wasn't there, so yeah, it's advantage. for
I'm
Terra.
glad I went in.
Let's go.
This is amazing. Please not 20. Please not 20. Oh,
16
that's
is
so
good
good.
enough.
No, so seeing Terra, use the opportunity. This person's like moving kind of around the side of the table, ushering the others forward. Their eyes are kind of avoiding looking away from you, but you wait for the right moment to move. And when there's a brief moment where like Xavier was moving in front of them and you lost
Excuse me,
eye
can we have a
contact,
glass of water, please?
yeah, you take this opportunity to
Yeah.
step around the plant. So, to their perspective, you were just in front of them, and then you just moved straight across like nothing. Like there was no disturbance to the area around you.
Oh god.
Without immediate insight, Christine, you see that there is an immediate shift from this person's face from normal, like, you know, confusion, and also like one like they're about to say something to Terra, and this happens. There's an immediate paler shift to their skin tone, and their mouth just clamps into a thin line, and they just turn their attention back to you as they're now pointedly avoiding looking at Terra.
Cracked neck in background.
You just wait here for a few minutes, and then I will come and see you. I'm sure it won't be too long. I will be right back. And they turn to start walking away.
As you
Like,
guys,
pop them.
yeah, as you guys approach, one of the commodores like moves, to the other couch, noticing there's a big party of people here. And as you step forward, you can see that, again, as I'm not putting on the map, but they are there. There seems to be two eyes wearing their inner armors, like Terra is right now, talking to some civilians about certain things. Seemingly not really paying attention until like she walks past. He walks past with a bit of a hurry.
Yeah, like immediately puts a hand on this eye who's like talking to this person, like has a note out, like the person saying something. This person's just wearing like leathers, like the Under Armours, and they're just taking notes and listen. The reception person walks up, puts a hand on their shoulder, and quickly whispers something in their ear. The eye like looks up slightly, looks but then double takes up what the person said, and then like leans and looks to the person. I'm sorry for a few minutes as they get up from their seat and like look around towards the group of you, where you have the three of you now sitting on the couch, and Terra being an apparition,
Being the tree.
being like kind of
Like a
around
tree.
next to it, somehow
They
behind the
turned
tree and
to
not
say
even disturbing it.
And I'm just not there.
We should have, if we knew we were gonna do this, we should have cast like the fog person spell, so you could actually just do this.
We kill her. We turn her into a zombie for a minute's ass.
There is there's like a double shock on like what's happening there, but then also a double shock of like when he sees Epis is there. Like,
Yeah.
It's like before, like this civilian clearly didn't know Epis at all.
Yeah.
But this eye is like, oh, huh. It's like, as he like goes to the commoner, it's just like, one moment, and it's just like, Master Epis, it's been a long time. What brings you to Sonaris? How did you even get in? As he sort of like scans the thing, and then he looks at the tree once more, and is like, James?
Huh? Again, that sort of look over, just like almost to the spot initially where the person was looking, so past Terra, like not following his eye but the eyesight of the other person, and looks back, so like, sorry?
This,
That's
as-
simple with the eye.
yeah.
The guy walks up, like sorry. He looks at you and goes, I'm sorry, I'm just talking. He looks up at to Terra again, looks back at you, and then you all see his eyes flash for a moment as they have like the purple kind of infuses through his eyes for a second, and he blinks it away. He goes, do you not? He's like, there's the clear moment of confusion. He looks at Terra and his eyes flash. He looks back at you, and then there's like a level of, do you not? Sorry, what?
At which point you hear a scream as the commoner behind him sees where he's pointing to and sees a bloody man halfway out of the tree.
Other people here can also see him.
Yeah, I know.
He looks back. The commoner looks back. I'm sorry. Do you not know the man standing next to you? So he points to Terra.
No.
The guy moves forward. Is like,
And then
you
like
okay?
I jump up with like that sort of worry of look like there's something I obviously don't know, and I'm trying to like look around like as if like starting to be a bit worried about that.
Did we hear
the
that?
eye is like moving directly towards Terra. He's like, "Are you okay? You have blood on your armor. It's like, what's happening?"
You should see the other guy.
This another guy?
Yeah.
You didn't show up for roll call and...
Let me at least. You are stabbed multiple. 1 second, and he places a hand. He just like reach out and place a hand on your shoulder. Do you let him? Oh yeah. Actually, yeah. Outside, Sylvie and Aqua, you both hear a scream.
And in a sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm probably like at that point. Are there windows?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are.
I'm going to have a little peek through the window as discreetly as I possibly can.
You can see, as you do, you can see... can you see the map? Can you see the people on the map? Well, not being
Yes,
on the map.
I can.
Yeah, you see these group of commoners all like just rush to get up off the couch and move over. This is like, I don't know what's happening.
I don't see weapons drawn.
I should. Do you need me to go check on Master?
No, I think that they're fine at the moment.
No. Very well.
I bet you says, what are you doing?
So Tara will just like sort of gently like nudge his hand away, but like, ah, no, it's already taken care of. Don't worry. And then
The accident
she'll
was 5
put
years
a
ago.
hand on Christine's shoulder and said, "I'm pretty good at hiding in bushes. Sorry to scare you."
As soon as like something is like pressed on her shoulder, I'm just going to like make that sort of like jump, like sort of look as if like something I don't know has just like touched me, and like all this information's rushing, like playing this up as like I can't see this thing. It's a ghost or some sort.
What's wrong? Is everything okay?
I-
Where are we?
I don't know. It's just just trying to look around and panic, but trying not to do too much and just waiting to see what Terra's doing. If that sort of slight moment, of eyes meet between me and Terra, it's that look of like that sort of fear slightly twinges to like annoyance there, but whether or not she picks that up,
Yeah, the
What is Epis doing right now?
great question.
He's remaining like pretty
Just
calm. Like he's seeing what's happening. He's trying to figure out
What's the best
obviously
plan?
the conversation has drifted away from
Yep.
from
Epis being there.
being there. And he just sort of like after a brief second, as all of you are sort of playing along like this thing, he just looks at the guys like, "What are you seeing, son? What's going on?" He's not playing along.
dude-
He's like straight up just like asking him what's happening.
Yeah, the dude looks at Epis like, what? Excuse me, Sir Skittlate. I'm not sure if you're aware of my compatriot here. This is Sir James. He is another member of our eyes. Why are you? Like, it just looks over at Terry. He's like, you look like you've been stabbed, but you're okay. Formalities are a whole thing. Sir Skittlate, are you with these other two? It looks like you two are here to talk to an eye.
What happened? To talk to as many of you as we can. We found this one on the side of the street, and these two civilians alerted me of the situation as I was visiting. Couldn't have time to get my equipment on as he looks still in his like probably like commoner clothes now. Probably got someone to get clothes for him that weren't rags.
Yeah, he looks, he's like the dude's killing out of his element as he's gone from, not only is my friend here who I was concerned about, but also he looks like he's been in a fight that didn't go great, and also that Epis, like a dude I here know of from another place is here. Like there's a lot running through this guy's head. He hasn't even looked at like Christine or Xavier like at all properly. He's basically looking between the Terra and Epis and barely glancing at the two of you.
He looks
From
over.
behind, as in the background, you see there was a second eye back there, but they've gotten up after being talked to the receptionist and have actually headed out and around and out of sight, looks like up some stairs.
Mm-hmm.
As Epis sort of looks over to Tara's like, James, right? Maybe you can explain what happened better than I can.
Well, I got hit in the head pretty hard, so I'm a bit fuzzy on it. Which I heard these two talking about it and thought I would maybe follow in to see if they have some details that I could match up with myself.
So, you've been in a fight with James/Terra, and you found him on the street wounded, and you two were involved in bringing him back here. And for the first time, he's now like acknowledging Christine and Xavier. And as he does, you see this man looks at Christine, turns to Xavier, and then immediately there's a shift where he goes from casual confusion to a bit of alert. As this man is trained to see details and important information. Xavier dressed up like a weird old man isn't really enough to deceive this man.
Yep.
as immediately, like, this guy, you can tell he recognized that Xavier is at least a hobgoblin. So like
Alright.
the
At this point, I'd like to quickly cast message before the alert goes too far in his mind.
Mhm.
I just want to use a message to say to him, just be careful, Epis is in danger, but not from him, we promise.
there's like the guy goes to open his mouth to say something, you message him that. He kind of has the mouth hang open for a few seconds. Can you make a persuasion check?
Oh, I will.
It is one of your strong suits.
It's not actually proficient, fun fact, it's deception.
That's your problem.
It is.
Charisma or a nearly max skill, though.
What do you
It is
mean he's
my
not in
only-
danger from us?
You know, there's a button for this.
Here's a button for this.
There's a button for this. And if there's any, like, if there's any check that makes sense to use it, charisma based. 19.
The bewilderment
my
and
heart.
confusion on his face is like almost locked behind a now like clearly forced expression of not peace, but just like stability. And he looks between the four of us, goes, I see. A compatriot of mine has already gone upstairs to talk to others who are here right now. I believe they will be coming down when they're ready. Would you like to reconvene this to a less... Looks over at the four civilians who are clearly watching this with great interest. Public...
Nod.
It's like... Alrighty. And he starts like... He's walking back, like, if you'd follow me, please.
Follow him?
As he
Yeah.
leads to Sarah at the back.
Ah, computer.
Oh, computer.
Yeah, there's a. As you follow the.
Oh,
Oh,
go
okay,
on.
yeah, okay, it was the second one. My apologies, yeah.
Yeah, just moving them further back.
Cool, yeah. As you see that. there's,
And at the same time, he stops briefly to talk to the other reception person. Like, could you please just occupy our other patrons here for a few minutes? I just have some important words. Other eyes will be downstairs to take care of the rest of the statements in a few minutes. And the other commoners all basically the one who's at reception just ushers them all back towards the couches and kind of out of sight as much as possible, and then returns to the desk.
I'm going to be in the hopes that Christine will be able to alert me and Arthur of anything if it goes south, because I can see them leave as I look through the window, but everything seems to be in order, so I'll wait for now.
Akbar probably knows not to move too far from a spot he stays in if you give her a message.
Yeah.
So, and like as he leads you back to the desk, they pull over a few. He basically pulls up a few chairs from the surrounding areas and is like, gets you all to sit down. Like, please tell me everything. You know, all the details.
Epis, begins his story about what happened in the church.
I'll add on wherever necessary from our point of view, but I won't really add on stuff we've done particularly, just anything that can help add for Epis's
And then
persuasion.
And then explains where he was before, that he was in the mines, and that these people helped him get out, and that will he continue the terror is the guy thing, or just say terror is someone looking like the guy thing?
Does Terra want to weigh in on this fact?
Yeah, Terra, what do you want? Do you just want to? He sort of looks at you at one point.
Depends on how much Epis trusts this guy. Like, if Epis fully trusts this guy, Terra is, like, down to let him know she is not actually this guy.
You know what?
I'm down with the idea of him knowing, because it might shake that faith more.
Terra,
It's
odds or evens?
Evens.
Stevens?
He just relays like, and then we found this young man, like, behind some dumpsters nearby. He was nearly dead, but luckily I had a bit of magic after my rest. He admits like where you guys are staying and all that. Anything that's like relevant about
Yeah.
where you're hiding, he's just talking about his experience, where he was, how he's doing, what's going on. And he yeah, he's just like, we found this young man and I got him up. Thought we'd bring him here because there seems to be some information that he was attacked by one of his own men.
When, as Epis has been telling the story, it takes a few minutes to go through all the details. As words are coming through, the eye who was at the back desk who left before comes back down, and he's wearing his leathers. There's a second one who comes down with him, also in leathers, who are both just standing back, kind of listening to what's being said. And as the tale comes to him, was attacked by his friends. The one of them, the guy at the desk, looks back to his two compatriots. He's like, attacked by his friend. You're saying he was attacked by another eye?
That's what these people saw.
Looks to Tara / James. Do you remember who attacked you?
It's a bit foggy. I did wake up in a dumpster after all.
Does anyone react when Tara says dumpster? Like the other two listening in.
Make an insight check.
Yes, please. Owen?
May I also make one?
Yeah, of course.
So I make one.
Yeah.
Nice roll.
Everyone can make an insight check who is inside the building.
Let's go.
You know, and as you make an insight check, why not? You can insight the bricks.
I'll do it.
first.
The bricks
Me and
tell
Onyx
story.
is.
Brickside.
That will be a
What are they?
12.
Good bricks.
It's good. Good bricks.
It's well mortared.
They can't lie to you.
Xavier, you're having a hard time getting a read on these people because you can tell
trying
that
to-
you're trying to like, see past their expression, see what they're really thinking, how they're feeling. But all you see is people who are very much on guard. Specifically on guard, you think because of you. For Tara and Christine,
Body language.
the two of you aren't being paid attention to. Well, Christine especially, you're not being paid attention to as much. But Tara, given you look like their friend, as they look towards you, there's a little like almost crack in this persona they're putting over their face when their eyes meet your / their eyes. And the both of you are able to realize that the man you're talking to, the guy who you're across from, he seems to be very interested in the details. He's not 100% sure, like he doesn't fully know what to make of it at the moment. As you just told him, like you're attacked by a friend, but there's yet to be any evidence on that. It's like he's listening very carefully to what you're saying, as you're saying something incredibly important for details. The two who come down the stairs, one looks like he's seen a ghost for a brief moment, and the other one is like hits that level of confusion of like that one's like looks at mainly at Epic like wants to the fuck.
Yep.
Who are these people? What is happening here? What is going on?
The one that looks like they've seen a ghost, like as sort of Tara, as you're saying, like don't know dumpster sort of thing, like just sort of unsure of the details. I want to like look to the person who's mainly doing the conversating at the desk, but kind of half look like past towards the other ones as like a open question instead of just a question to him. It's like, you wouldn't happen to know of anyone that may have been around them or anything like that? Specifically lingering my eye on the one who looks like they saw a ghost.
The man across from me was like, well, they finished up their work last night and left here shortly after completing their job. Their partner, actually, I believe, is upstairs. He checked in before. Turns back to this guy, turns back to Paige. Do either of you know roughly when he left? And they're both like, one shakes their head and one's like, yeah, one shakes their, like, one, the smaller of the two boxes. This one here shakes his head like he has no idea. The other one's just like, I believe it was after dark near curfew. It's not the most. It's like not really the most broad scale to work off of though. He's like moves a bit down. This is the same dude who left earlier.
Shit.
Ah,
Weird.
People.
oh the commons!
That
They're
is,
attacking.
that is not what I wanted to do there.
What?
It was ghosts.
Oh my god!
Time to die.
I'm going to kill you all. I don't know what
Hey,
happened.
Omawa, the Shinderu.
Suffice to say, that is not what I wanted.
What do you
What
mean?
do you mean? Clearly that was intentional, AJ. Come on.
One's coming through the walls.
And this one's stuck in the walls like a trash goblin. Okay. Anyway, continue. My apologies.
No.
But the one who you basically point the question kind of half avoids the question. The other one's just like, I don't freaking know. He's more confused. Honestly, he's looking more like.
Didn't James say that it was within the last few hours though? It couldn't have been overnight.
Everyone looks to James as the one who would know the most about that. The whole when they were stabbed time.
Do we get an idea of when he would have been stabbed? I can't remember if
From the blood?
The blood said
Within a
that he
last
died.
few hours.
Yeah, within hours. Probably like overnight.
Early hours this morning.
early hours of the morning, right? Yep,
Presumably on their way back here.
Yep, James would relay that.
So, yeah, after dark, when it was nighttime, he would have left here then and done whatever he did after work, and then found your way to that alleyway where you were attacked. What were you doing back there? What were you doing in the alleyway?
I can't remember. A lot of it feels really fuzzy, like where I could have died or something. The way I feel right now, man. And Tara will like search them, like watch them when
Yeah.
she makes a joke about being dead.
Yeah, I was about to say, when you say, I swear I could have died, could you make another insight check on
tag
the
along?
three of them? Yeah, of course.
May I?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'll still tag along, but... I can't roll the die.
It doesn't like you.
Oh no.
Still 17.
17.
Yeah.
Looking at
The two of you looking a bit like Tara. You say that clearly in point of statement. The one who kind of saw goes before, you can see there is a tiny flinch in that moment, and with that 20, you can tell this man is more than well aware of probably what happened to the
one
real
is he?
James.
The
The back one here.
Yeah, that one. Him, yeah.
Top one or
Middle one. Yeah, in the middle.
middle one? Behind, like
The one
with her
standing on-
behind her back, sort of towards Christine. She will like put two fingers up and like suggesting number 2, like the guy in the middle.
Okay.
As we
And the same when you said like that guy as well looks to the other two. He's like, Brent, can you go upstairs and let the others know that James is back? I'm sure that there's a few people there who'd love to know you're okay. When you didn't check in right now, we thought the worst. And the other guy's like, yeah, sure, no problem. As he turns, this one starts heading upstairs. Then the two of them, he like, moves up. He's like, we should probably get you down somewhere. We can check you over and get a proper statement. Would you like to come down to the more secure, like down to the interrogation area, so we can at least discuss things? Looks over at all the civilians in an actually secure and private area.
Tara will throw a glance to Christine to kind of see if she reckons she should go with him or if she should stand ground or staying.
It's just like this slight shake.
I think I'll wait here first and get all this stuff sorted out. We can do that afterwards.
I feel like he needs like just attendance like right now, if possible. He looks a bit woozy.
I've tried to. One of the fronts. I've tried to heal him already. He didn't. Do you want? I've got to lay on hands. I can try that again. If are you sick? I can help with that. You not be poisoned, I assume.
I don't think so, but God, I feel cold as death. Do you have some blankets or something?
Like, I don't think we do have blankets, honestly.
Unless you want to go into a cell. Epis, like, brings up.
I assume he doesn't want to go into a cell, though. That's he's not a criminal.
It would be isolated and there's a blanket there.
Then we should go down to the cells. And he gets up, like, starts walking up towards the stairs here.
To the cells we go.
Yeah.
I want to
You wanna
delay
go to
my
the
movement
cells?
slightly,
Mm-hmm.
just to send a message back to Arkvor. I'm just going to say, going further in, I will try to reach you. 5 minutes or less.
Got it.
10. We'll put 10.
Five.
10. You do you, buddy. You know, have fun with it.
Well, your timer starts.
5 feels short, but we'll go 5.
Alright, so 5 minutes, etc. You all start. I'm assuming you guys get up and follow them.
Yep.
Yeah, you start coming over. Knock it, there you go. And they lead over. You come through this doorway in the top here, where it leads downstairs. You can see this the staircase leads up and down in 2 different areas.
Yep.
But the upstairs leads all the way up for the 2nd floor. We can see a door, and then up to the 3rd floor around a curve. And the downstairs they lead you through goes to this door, which they open, and going in, you see what looks like Xavier. And for you being down in one of these areas very briefly, this is like the standard store, like cells. And so taking you to a cell. That's the...
You see, sitting on this chair is another guy in leathers, seemingly like he doesn't seem to be doing anything. Seems to be like strumming his fingers along his hands.
Yep.
It's just like as the others pass down, he's just like, oh, so like we have someone to put in here.
And then they see James and the guys. There's a brief conversation with the 2 of them where they're like there's clearly like, what is he doing? Is he hurt? Is he okay? Like, he wants to have a blanket in the sun. Like, okay, we can do that.
We put him on the spot
Do you
so
wanna
hard.
put him in the interrogation room and I'll get a blanket from a cell?
It looks over at James. Do you want
No.
to sit in one of the?
I
No.
don't think so. Yeah, the guy can have a look at me in the cell.
Okay.
We're definitely not gonna lock the door behind him.
The 2 of them. The guy at the desk is like really confused, but the 2 of them go through. Is it just Tara who's going with these 2?
What does Epis look like?
Follow.
Ocean follow.
Yeah,
Yeah, Epis is following.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
following
then follow.
Epis' lead.
All right. They open the first cell, and they're like the first one their heads on is like, go on in. There's a blanket in there and a desk. You can. There's only
You've
one
got
chair.
message, right?
Seems what?
You've got message, right?
I do have message as a skill,
I can't
yes.
With message, can the person you send it to speak back? I can't remember.
Only on my cast, but yes.
Okay. Tara, as they're walking, will kind of like sort of tap her head and sort of gesture to Christine to potentially message.
Yeah, I'll probably wait until like I step past the dude at the chair, like past the door a little bit, and then finger like sort of towards, I'll point. What do you need?
Potential what? If you lock the door behind us, and I can well shape and leave, and we can lock him in there for questioning.
I was wondering about knocking out or stunning. One moment, and I'll like sort of divert my sort of point to Epis. Did you think knock them out here, or lock them?
They don't seem to be locking us in. I don't know how we're going to do it. We have thieves' tools.
Save you on the other side of the door. It's locked.
Nope. But knocking out or stunning?
If that's what you want
They
to do.
They seem like the one that knows everything. I have ways to at least potentially stop them from moving for a short moment. Other than that, we can figure out from there.
Has a minute passed?
I'd say, yeah, they're going, ushering them downstairs, getting them down here. It's about a minute. With you all stalling for a moment over the quiet conversation, the two eyes exchange kind of look between them, and they're just like, is everything okay? Do you still want the blanket?
Definitely want the blanket.
Okay.
As
come on
Tara
in.
walks in, to the initial guy who we were talking to, well, actually, first to Epis, I'm going to send a message being like, I need you to look at the initial guy and play along with whatever expression he's going to make. And I'm going to point to the initial guy and say, be careful and wary of this one. They know something about what happened with the attack. The body language is giving it away.
Like, you just openly say that.
No, in the message.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
No,
so
God, no.
So you're messaging. Okay.
Epis.
The initial, the
about that
first,
dude.
first Epis, and then
Yeah,
I will
and then you
I'll tell him to be
message him.
wary.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna message the other guy to try to get Epis to play along with the worry of like, yes.
That you tell the dude that this other one knows what's going on.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I have to roll something for this.
Yeah.
Okay. You point and message the dude.
Yep.
And there's like a moment where like you say this and you point at him, and he's like, he just nods, like, okay, keep an eye on him.
Roll insight.
Yeah, feel free to roll insight.
I'll go for it. I'm hoping that like he would look to Epis as like a confirmation or anything. And like have Epis like kind of be along with it.
Oh, sorry. I thought-
Xavier, I would let you roll. It's a wake on with 20 because you had no idea this was about to happen, so I don't know how you'd be able to roll inside.
Yeah,
of this man.
I thought we were all rolling it. That's
No. Oh, good.
yeah.
Unfortunate loss for 20. But
Yeah.
yeah, you say this thing.
Yeah.
Christine, you aren't able to read much more past it. The dude doesn't verbally respond. He just kind of like nods, like, okay.
He has a chance to respond to my mind.
He chooses not to.
Damn.
I know how that insight works. I figure out what the fuck's going on.
As the the guy who walked in was the one that you talking to, as you're like talking to him as he's entering. The other guy is waiting for all of you to go in first.
The guy who we think's got information, is he the one in there with me, or
No,
is
the other
one?
guy.
The guy outside's the one. The guy out here with the rest of them. He's the one who looks like he's seen a ghost.
Yeah, he's waiting
Oh,
for
I
everyone
see.
to go in.
When Tara goes to go in, she will put like her hand on his back to sort of like, gently pat in the back and usher him in with her, saying, you can have a look over me in here.
No, protocol first. Sorry.
That's alright.
You should know this, James.
Dude, you have no idea how hard I've been hit in the head. Everything was just jumble.
It's been a few minutes at this point.
Hmm.
After you said it was after 1 minute, were you doing anything?
I was going to wait to 2 minutes. I mean, I said 5, but 2 is just a backwards 5.
Okay. Sylvie, Inazaz, are you two doing anything outside as this 2 minutes approaches?
I don't think so.
I'm waiting for.
I would have
honestly,
at
I'm
least
probably
given you
going
the
by.
signal of 5 with the paw.
Yeah, I'm going by what Arkva told from the message. So
And then he runs in at 3.
Oh,
if he comes in, I guess I'll go in with him.
Oh, we're going in. I guess we're going in.
Alright, so after 2 minutes, you two all head you entering. You enter into the main room. The
Yeah.
reception person. Yep.
But did Arkva say he was going in at 2 minutes?
Yeah. So this is the point where the 2 minutes is now coming up.
Yeah, Aqua signaled 5, but he walks in at 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And this is not it. All right. Yeah. Okay.
And just wait. He enters before his counter fires up. The three of you enter. You guys all see the confused commoners there, and the person behind the desk who starts talking to you like, "Oh, if you please just take a seat. Something important information has come down." At the same time this is happening, you guys, Sylvie, Arkva, Inazaz, what are your passive perceptions?
Mine is really fucking high.
Not
Yeah.
14.
Okay.
Passive perception is 20.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty.
That's my whole thing.
I was going to ask the lady, actually.
Mhm.
Something.
Okay, go ahead. It's okay. Quickly.
Yes, of course. I'm happy to take a seat, but my master said I needed to get acquainted with some more religious things. Do you happen to have a copy of your tenets I can browse while I sit and wait?
Absolutely. And the person like reaches under the desk and pulls out like a small book to hand to you. At the same time, Akfa, did you say what your passive perception was?
17.
70, yeah. So you and Sylvie definitely both hear. In his eyes, it doesn't quite catch your ear. But Sylvie, Akfa, you both hear the sounds of metal on wood as what sounds like several sets of footsteps going down the stairs. And then metal on stone a few seconds later. The door behind you, Christine, was shut after you guys moved through. But you guys hear from down the bottom, oh, everyone's coming. Like, what are you all doing down here? Like, why are you all dressed up? Are you heading out on patrol or something? And then the guy's like, just get out, go into one of the rooms, and be quiet. I was like, what do you mean, be quiet? Yeah.
Does anyone else hear that besides me?
Oh, Epis definitely would hear it with you. Xavier, what's your passive perception?
I'm not good.
Not good. Probably Xavier might not hear because his attention is directed elsewhere.
What about the
Tara?
other two guards as well? Sorry. Well, Tara first.
Yeah, Tara, unfortunately, you're unable to hear it because you're being directly talked to by this other dude. So he's just drawing your attention. You probably hear the sounds of metal on stone, but you don't hear the conversation. As the one in the room is like, so James, what do you mean? You should understand. You should know our rules, right? And what is everyone doing? A brief moment.
Sleight of hand to signal to the other two if they heard that.
Sylvie nods. Like, sort of just to you. like
Zaz sees you look at each other and goes, what are you fucking talking about?
I believe my friends were in here beforehand. I was a little late catching up with them, but they have already gone through. And I would maybe like to sort of start moving in.
Yeah, you can move yourself forward a bit.
The person in there's like, well, you should wait. We'll get an eye to talk to you first. Please take a seat.
But my friends already went through and they have all the information. I might have something to add.
Then,
I mean,
then
if they're
we'll get
already
another
seeing an
guard.
eye,
Then we'll get
would that
another
make more
eye.
sense?
No, sit down the desk.
I want to whisper to Commoner 13 as I sort of hold the book. What does this say?
Upside down.
See, the person looks at you like, what? They're also drawing attention as all the sounds coming downstairs. You all hear multiple sets of footsteps heading into the basement. In the basement, you guys hear someone telling the eye that was at the desk to just go out and get into a room and basically be quiet. You guys
I
like,
want
what
to
are you
send one
talking about?
message
Yep.
to the initial guy we told everything to,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like if I notice that Epis knows what's coming, I want to make him aware. There are heavy footsteps heading down here. They know something is wrong with what's happened. They know something that you don't. You have to help us.
And this guy is the same one in the room with Tara. The man stops, talking to James, and looks back and goes, I know. And the doors behind you open as multiple sets of eyes in full armor have come down. The dude at the desk is looking confused as hell, but the two here seem to be pretty aware of what's going on. I think AJ can fill the map, and then we can roll initiative.
I'll fill the map a bit more later because I need to, but I'll have everyone roll initiative for sure.
I'm gonna say the hands slowly raise.
Let's go.
Woo!
With everyone's perceptions are ridiculous. There's no surprise. These people are in plate armor.
Mine's
It's
not
hard
ridiculous.
to be quiet.
Mine's but a humble 14.
Yeah, but even then, with everyone around you, it's not a problem.
Mate, I heard it with an 11. You're fine.
Real quick, so, the guy's gear that I took, would his stuff count as like basic leather armor, or is it just no armor?
It's leather armor.
Okay.
So you actually have leather armor now. It's an upgrade for you.
Alright, cool. So I can equip it again.
It is
Keep
already.
that.
Sorry, I just need to get it.
So yeah. Age, you'll start filling that map out
Yeah,
another time because I had to move a bunch of people around to make things difficult for him.
It's all good.
Well played.
It's all good.
Lucky this happened, otherwise, well, the entranceway might have been a little bit funky.
By the way, are you two moving in a bit more, or?
Yeah.
You have to move
like-
yourself in.
like here.
Silver, you said you were moving past, so you can move yourself to where you think you would have been.
I think she would have been like. So that's door. That's you can't.
Yeah.
Go through, yeah.
So you go around the north side.
This
Yeah.
way.
I was just trying to keep the commoners
Probably
distracted.
would have. Let me see. I'll go be on the grid. I'm going to go about here. I guess she probably would have been heading to. I won't go too far in.
All right.
Oh. That's
Yeah, go ahead, AJ.
No, I've looked at the thing map being like, that's not the people I put down. It's like, oh no, I'm looking at the wrong map. I'm looking at the player map, the stream map, and being like, oh okay, that makes sense. That's where everybody went. I'll fill that out in a second once I can. All right, fill it out over next time because I need to ask questions to Darian.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for coming. Oh.
I was getting ready to fight.
We said we're gonna end
I wish it was.
11:30.
Yep, me and Tez unfortunately have to go to sleep, so it will have to do this combat next time.
Yeah. What did I do? Friend? No.
Think you run into this issue every week.
No, I remember
Let's
this
stick to
time.
that.
I remember this time.
You need to change it.
I did change it, but places make sense. I just keep forgetting. Anyway, streamy people, any cool streams going on?
Well, I'm still keeping up with my Friday Left 4 Dead 2 streams, and I've also been doing Sunhaven once a week with Sam.
I've been starting back up streaming. Been playing Dead by Daylight on like 3 days this week. It's gone pretty good. I'm doing something for October though. We're going to be going in blind on Alien Isolation on the hardest difficulty because I'm a masochist.
Do it at midnight.
No,
Needs to be asleep by then.
I need to be asleep by then.
Make your room as dark as you can then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you guys. Sam, any new streaming news or?
No, I'm still sort of on hiatus.
Fair enough. He'll come back, we promise. Or do I? I can't promise
Yeah.
that. Only Sam can. Unless I get paid money to be promised that.
Temptation to hit one of these commoners with the book.
Oh.
But it'll probably kill them.
I mean, if you put
Temptation.
strength into it, yeah. If you just donk them on the head with the book, I don't think you can kill someone.
Can I apply my grace with the book?
What was I gonna say? Myself, yeah, my plug. You can join the Discord, and there's a VOD down below. If you join the Discord, you'll be able to vote on what I'm going to play on Tuesday. Currently, we have a poll going on for 2 weeks from when I posted it, so I think it's going to end sometime like a Wednesday or a Thursday in a couple weeks. On the list is Final Fantasy 1, Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Heartbound, Banjo-Kazooie, Spider-Man for the PS4, Transistor, or Persona 4 Golden. Looks like I'm either going to play a really short Banjo-Kazooie fun time or a really long Persona 4 Golden. There is only 2 ways this can go.
Third option.
Third option. I'm also going to quickly find the link. I'd make this a plug, but I think the link changes each week. But I'm also going to be building a egg lock, so if you want to participate in that, you can make a Pokemon. I'll be sending out this in chat, but it's also in the Pokemon streams. I might throw it up on Reddit or Twitter at some point and be like, yeah, make me Pokemon, I don't care. You've got a while. I think we're going to play a game in between Pokemon Mystery Dungeon and this, so you've got a bit to fill out the list, which is good. Tuesday is Octopath Traveler, Wednesday is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Thursday is Up to K, but we might be starting Kingdom Hearts 2 this week. This is the
It
good
should
one.
be.
This is what Kay is telling me is the best one, and I should have only played this game. So we'll see how her taste is.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I said.
Like everything else beforehand doesn't matter. This is like, is she a good friend or not? Is because she did say Kingdom Hearts 2.
It depends. Is Kay making you do it on proud mode?
I'd love to. He's not going to.
Thank fuck. You are gonna be fine.
That'll be funny.
Kay
You'll find-
owes me a Chain of Memories Proud mode, and she hasn't done it
No, I
yet.
owe you a Chain of Memories critical.
Is that better
I'm
or
telling
worse?
you, if
Worse.
I genuinely think you would just flip at doing the data fights in proud mode.
I don't think he's gonna do data fights, dude. I'm gonna have to.
Are data
I'm-
fights
I'm-
optional?
Some,
Yeah,
sorta, yeah.
you have to
No.
unlock them. Well, there's harder versions you have to unlock, but you can't do the normal one.
Depends who you ask.
I'm just gonna do the story. I'm not gonna do like we haven't really gone out of our way to do anything else in the last games.
No, I think what I might do is like a little thing if people want to see it. I might try to get my critical run up to the data fights.
Go do
And
Sephiroth,
do that.
AJ, she says, is the Green Goblin Mask. Go
Oh,
fight
Sephiroth isn't even the
again.
hard one.
Sephiroth is easy, dude. I don't want you to fight Lingering Will. That guy scares me.
I'm telling you now, Sephiroth is easier in the second compared to the first.
She has a conscience, though. That's what I'm saying. She won't make me do a
Yeah.
proud mode fight. She'll make me do Sephiroth.
You were doing Sephiroth, at least.
Friday is Dishonored 2. We're partway through Chapter 6. And then next Saturday, if everything's going according to plan, there will be Guardians. I'm telling us now, there will be Guardians. If it's not, it's someone else's fault. And yeah, we'll be back with Echo 71, where they're going to do an eye assault. That's going to be fun. Or a gavel assault, who knows?
Gotta wait like 2 weeks to do my job.
You do. But thank you all for coming. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.